Hey everybody, welcome to Super Magical Cup number 7. We're starting with the pre-show and I'm finally joined by Rumham again this week.
Yeah, good to be back.
I missed you last week. Oh no, there's a little spot there. Nobody needs to know.
I spent last weekend in Las Vegas where I found out that I'm not as good at craps as I am at Clash Royale. It doesn't work. They're not the same game, as it turns out.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with you on that. So, back for another Super Magical Cup. Glad to have Rumham with us again. Let's just go ahead and introduce kind of the event to everybody. Super Magical Cup is a weekly community tournament held on Saturdays at 12 p.m. PST every week. You can get updates about that on our social media, Twitter, at Super Magical Cup, and of course at this Twitch channel too. So some things to talk about what the tournament format is. Players have to submit 2 different decks, and then they play in a best of 3 series from start to finish, right? And if you win with deck 1 per se, then that deck actually cannot be used for that particular matchup, and you must go to your second deck afterwards. So you have to win with both decks that you submitted in order to move on in the tournament. We have 4 different groups, so we're fighting to qualify out of the groups, and then the playoffs is a round of 8, and then the top players will face off against each other for super magical points and super magical chests. So lots of fun stuff. And we also have giveaways that happen all throughout the tournament stream. We have 5 different giveaway questions for you guys, and we'll pick 3 winners each for a total of 15 viewer winners for giveaway pricing and good spectator care there. So
I'm really excited about this week's Super Magical Cup. Every week I've just been very impressed with the quality of play. I'm usually in the top 200 on the leaderboard. I've been there pretty much all this season, and I can say without a doubt that the Super Magical Cup is the highest quality pool of players in the Clash Royale community. I think we've seen some of the top players even last week further their dominance. Clark Kent and Woody continued their streak of high performing. Woody especially, I believe that's his 5th top 4 in a row,
never been lower than
his
that,
lifetime winnings into the several hundreds. I want to say over $400 now in winning from Clash Royale, which is hats off to him.
Yeah, it's
but both of them were unseated in the top 4 by, I don't want to say newcomers, because both Naders and Fly Society have top 8'd before, but they haven't shown up in a while. They burst through and both won in the top 4, played in the finals. Fly Society took home his first Super Magical Cup title after winning, and the streak of no player having won 2 Super Magical Cups
continues for sure. And it's super interesting to me because Fly Society was one of those players where I was kind of watching, but I didn't really expect him to be necessarily a winning player, right? I didn't really expect him to be playing at the level of Woody and Clark Kent and Manufan and whatnot. But the interesting thing is, looking at other events, I feel like I've seen Fly Society doing fairly well, right? So I was always wondering, like, what's been holding him back from his success? And I think that question is still out there on the table. But he played really, really well last week, and he earned himself that first place spot because there were killers out there in the top 8, and he made it through and he got it done. So Fly Society adds himself to that list. Now, I mean, we can go ahead and look at this leaderboard here just to give you guys an update about where we stand for the current top players. And as expected, you know, the story last week was, will Clark Kent be the first guy to repeat win, right? And if he did, he would then secure himself probably the farthest lead in the points that we've seen so far, just 1,000 points ahead of the next place finisher.
Sure.
But what ended up happening was Clark Kent was defeated. I can't remember whether it was Fly Society or Naders. It was one or the other that actually ended Clark Kent's run in the semifinals. But because that happened, Woody still is at the top. You can't take him down from that top place in the leaderboard. He got such an early lead.
Top 4 every time. You deserve the top spot. What I like is that we're starting to see a gathering of people at the top of the leaderboard. Aside from Rye Guy, who won his first Super Magical Cup and then hasn't been seen since, we're seeing that top 5 of Woody, Clark Kent, Manufan, Fly Society, and Scrazzer having regular performance in the top 8. All of those people, aside from Scrazzer, have top 8'd at least 3 times. Naders and Scrazzer both have 2 appearances, as does Raintown now. And it's crazy because you can earn so many points for a first or second place finish that all it takes for Jeff, Malcade, Mats, Raintown, etc. is one more top 4 finals appearance, and they can shoot up the leaderboard as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that could happen right now because we've gone through. I mean, this is Super Magical Cup number 7, right? So we've gone through 7 iterations of this tournament, and points have been given out 7 times, and they're still so close. The race is still so close. I mean, Woody has kind of been at the top the whole time. But it's the difference of a first place finish on somebody else. The instant somebody makes that second first place finish, they will be the top of the leaderboards. Guaranteed.
And more than points, there's so much actual real life cash money at stake.
Yeah.
The first place winner takes home over $200 in prizes. Second place takes home, I believe, $100. And the third and fourth place finish take home at least one Arena 8 Super Magical chest each, valued at, $40 a pop. Those are a huge help.
Yeah.
I mean, you get 22 epics.
Yeah.
And a
that's
great
a lot
chance
of
of getting a legendary.
And I
All
mean,
for playing a game you are already going to play.
Yep. And I'm sure everybody who plays knows the value of getting those epics. And I feel like in some ways the epics are like almost can be considered in some decks the core of what you need. You need to have those epics leveled up because I feel like if they're a level under, the interactions change a lot. So
Epics
it's really
are definitely the hardest thing for most players to get caught up to their cards. Like if you level your cards up normally, your commons get a little ahead of your rares get kind of way ahead of your epics, and then of course you may or may not even have the legendaries. So what I really like about tournament plays, I think you see a much more diverse meta because people have their epics up to the tournament cap, but usually don't have them up to their full money cap or whatever. So for example, at the very, very top of the leaderboard, I'm just now seeing so many people with maxed out epics when people have had maxed out commons forever. Maxed out epics, that Golem is becoming a very popular card. This Golem poison deck has really burst onto the meta in the last 2 weeks and become really strong. I'd love to see it in tournaments because I think people can have a level 4 Golem. That's a pretty reasonable thing to have. And we can see how well that deck actually holds up. We know it's good at the top of the ladder. I'd love to see it in tournaments. And the triple legendary deck that was made popular, I want to say 2 weeks ago by... Was it Clark Kent, I believe, ran it into the top 4? The triple legendary deck has become very popular now as a great answer to Royal Giant and Hog Rider decks. Weak, though, to some big tanky decks. I wonder if we're going to see the triple legendary, given how popular Hog Rider and Royal Giant has been in past Super Magical Cups.
And I think you pointed it out exactly right. In the last Super Magical Cup, I feel like Poison was kind of leaking into the tournament play.
Poison's all over.
And that card has been getting more and more popular as time has gone on. And then accompanying it was Golem, like you mentioned. So I'm kind of feeling, Rumham, based on what you said and what we kind of feel are the cards that are coming up in the meta, I'm excited to see who will be the tournament competitor who plays Golem Poison or some form of it, and how successful they will be in the tournament rule set.
It's a really interesting deck because it goes over the top of Royal Giant decks in a lot of ways, where it is the bigger, scarier push in a world full of Royal Giant to kind of small, like Hog Rider Goblin pushes. But that's why I'm really glad that we're here this week. I'm really glad that I get to watch and comment on this tournament. I feel like this is the hands down best Clash Royale play you could see out there. Every week I watch this, I feel like I become a better player, and I really feel like the competitors at the Super Magical Cup help drive next week's meta. You know, when I see something do well at Super Magical Cup, it's not a surprise when I start seeing it on the ladder just a few days later.
Absolutely.
So tune in, guys. Hang tight. We're going to have great matches for the next 3 hours or so. We're going to wrap up around 3 o'clock Pacific. The matches are being played right now.
Yeah, we're waiting for those matches to finish themselves off so that we can go ahead and look at the deck previews and really get into what these players are running and experimenting with and what's been successful. So, 40 seconds left on the timer. Before we hop into our first match, let's go ahead and open up the first giveaway. Let's get people answering some questions, and we'll have giveaways all throughout the stream, guys. All throughout the stream. Let's go ahead and take a look. Our first question will be: what Super Magical Cup regular top 8 finisher do you want to win the most, and why is that?
And let's get it.
Yeah, you guys can go ahead.
Who on the leaderboard?
Yep, go ahead and take a look at this leaderboard, and if there are any names up there that you really want to win the Super Magical Cup, let us know who that might be and why you feel that way. And the raffle is now open, so ! Raffle space answer the question. what Super Magical Cup regular top 8 finisher do you most want to win and why? And we will go ahead and close out that raffle in about 4 or 5 matches or so. And if you aren't one of the 3 winners for this question, don't worry. There's more questions on the way and more ways that you can get in on them buckets of gems. All right. So with that being said, I think that wraps up our pre-show, and we're straight into the tournament now, and we can go ahead and look for some tournament matches. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pick this match to preview. 2 players that we don't know. We have no idea who they are. Picar, and it's always great to see new faces.
Oh, yeah. I hope that we can see Picar or Utkar go deep in this tournament. So it looks like we have 2 very bread and butter good Clash Royale decks. Both of these decks look like they're playing pretty straightforward, back and forth. Interesting choice. Both are running Zap and Fireball.
Yeah.
That seems to be the 2 spells of choice more recently in the meta. People have really moved away from Freeze ever since the nerf to it.
Yeah. So taking a look at Picar's deck. Hog Rider, Mini P.E.K.K.A. This is a classic kind of double threat with your Hog Rider. It's not quite as cycly as it could be. There's a few more pricey cards there, but for all intents and purposes, the idea is to just throw the Hog Rider, throw the Goblins or the Spear Goblins, and then throw the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and then throw maybe the Archers or something with it.
I might say I'm going to go ahead and pre-call that MVP of this game is going to be Picar's Mini P.E.K.K.A. being very good on defense against Hog Rider, Valkyrie, Musketeer, and with a Zap being good against those Barbarians. I expect the Mini P.E.K.K.A. to make an impact on this game.
All right, we'll see if that plays out. So Picar versus Utkar. I'm going to have to get used to saying that name. Utkar. Let's go ahead and get straight into the game. All right, so.
Strong opening for Picar. Opted to not go with the Hog Rider Spear Goblins, though he had it in the opening hand.
Yeah, and that's actually a very popular play. Right when the game starts, you just throw down your 60 elixir. And if your opponent doesn't have answer for it, it could punish you big.
Both leaked a little elixir, but no harm, no foul if you both do it, I guess.
Yeah, if you both do it. But now you see, now
he
he's
doesn't have anything
out.
good to play against Musketeer. You can see him frozen here, Picar leaking the elixir, unsure of what to cast.
And, man, that's a lot of elixir leak. But Spear Goblin's on the other side, and I feel like he just had to cycle. He wants to cycle to the Fireball now. That's a Valley Fireball, but actually, I feel like the Barbarians and the Hog Rider separated from Musketeer. Ideally, he would have liked to hit that whole clump, and Picar loses the whole tower on the first push.
And a lot of that just comes down to the frozenness there. If he had even just dropped Spear Goblins behind the tower, that would provide a little bit more defense there. I mean, you can't do anything with 2 elixir that you've wasted.
Yeah, a single Goblin makes it over to the tower after pushing through the Inferno Tower, and this is information that Picar knows. I feel like Picar still has an opportunity to play his cards in such a way that he can knock a tower down. He has some very strong cards in his lineup, especially because his cycle happens to have melee Goblins in them. They do a ton of damage. If his opponent makes one mistake and lets those Goblins get up to the tower, it could chunk the health down.
Picar may want to commit to larger pushes. I see him kind of hesitant to play something big like Barbarians behind the King Tower, but that might be what you want to do, is putting that 5 elixir into the future. I really don't like the Mini P.E.K.K.A. there on the left going against the tower. It did actually get up there and hit, which is all right, but I feel like you needed that Mini P.E.K.K.A. against Valkyrie. So when you have all these Goblins in your deck, it's kind of hard to play them against the Valkyrie. The Mini P.E.K.K.A. can go right through it and just... take her out.
Early Hog, and he doesn't actually have elixir for the Inferno Tower. I like that. The Barbarians walked through, and Utkar was convinced to use his Fireball against the Barbarians, which is a pretty good choice. But that being said, 4 elixir down, wasn't able to put the Inferno Tower. He was 1 elixir away from it, and the Hog Rider gets a few good swings down.
And that's part of the reason why Cannon is so popular and remains popular as a counter to the Hog Rider, is that if they ever catch you, we're like, oh, we both have 3 or 4 elixir, and they drop a Hog Rider, you can't really afford to wait that extra couple seconds to get it out there. Cannon's nice that even if you are behind an elixir, you can usually get a cannon down before the Hog Rider arrives.
Ooh, a Zap actually delays the Minion Horde, and then, but he gets fireballed right out the gates. And it's just super tough. Utkar has some pretty good defense. I mean, between Valkyrie and Barbarians and Minion Horde, it seems like Utkar is more than good enough to just sit back after he took that first tower and really take things slow.
Yeah, Utkar is running a sort of a variant of the Trifecta deck. It has all 3, Musketeer, Hog, and Valkyrie. We know how good that deck is at defending, that once they took that early tower, it could just opted to play very defensively. You notice he never really played another Hog Rider after the tower went down.
Yeah.
And you can definitely rely on Musketeer, Valkyrie, Minion Horde, and Barbarians especially to defend you against pretty much any push.
Yeah, and I feel like that was a really great first game to watch just because it was clean, it was simple. Utkar just played clean Clash Royale, no gimmicks, nothing special. He just played well, got the first tower, and defended up. So let's go ahead and find our second game here.
I'm actually really excited to watch this game because on the Twitter, on the Super Magical Cup Twitter, which by the way, follow us at twitter.com/supermagicalcup.
Yeah.
We retweeted this guy who had an awesome setup. He had all of these toys and stuff set up around the iPad hooked to a computer. I believe Tom BB was that person streaming on YouTube. So check out, I guess, their YouTube channel. But let's see how Tom did with the whole setup going.
Yeah, and if you guys want to see that stuff, you can go to our Twitter. We retweeted it. Go ahead and follow him, Tom BB Mobile. Super, I love seeing that.
That was
awesome.
a killer setup. Now, what's interesting is that Tom BB is running the Minor Princess deck that's become very popular. What this deck tends to rely on is Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Hog Rider coming for your tower. Minor tanking the tower attacks makes those Mini P.E.K.K.A.s and Hog Riders very intimidating. I like that he has Zap and Fire Spirit to help supplement those pushes. I expect Tom to be playing very aggressively this game.
Now, meanwhile, on the other side, Desi Man, actually, I think this is a very interesting deck, and I think it's something that works really, really great on ladder.
I'm playing this right now on the ladder, actually. The Lava Hound Balloon Baby Dragon. Yeah.
And the great thing about it is, if your opponent doesn't not have enough anti-air, you can actually just run them over.
Yes.
Because look at that. He has minions,
5
Baby
air
Dragon,
units.
Balloon, Minion Horde, Lava Hound. That's 5 cards out of the 8 that are air units. And if you don't have any anti-air, you can just end up losing your tower back to back and maybe even getting 3 crown.
And if you've noticed, Tom BB only has the minions, the 3 elixir minions, to stop the Lava Hound and the Balloon and the Baby Dragons and all that. Like this, I mean, I guess he has the Princess as well, but woo, let's see.
Yep, let's see. Let's see what happens. I'm excited for this and excited to watch Tom BB. Tom BB Mobile, YouTube versus Desi Man. Again, 2 names that I don't think we've seen participate before in the Super Magic Cup. New names, new faces.
Hey, if those big names want to get seen on the group play, they can go ahead and make the top 8.
That's a good one.
If you want to get guaranteed shown, you got to make top 8. So Minor comes in on the Elixir Collector. Great placement of the Mini P.E.K.K.A. If you notice, the Minor didn't end up actually hitting the Elixir Collector, protecting that Elixir. But on the other end, the Mini P.E.K.K.A. made it all the way there.
Oh goodness, and those Fire Spirits did a ton of damage to the Baby Dragon. Oh no, the Princess lives!
Princess lives to fight another day.
That is the statement you do not want to hear, the Princess lives. If you are fighting a princess, that is not what you want to happen.
Here comes a Hog Rider down.
Nice Minion Horde. This is kind of the Jason-esque. Ooh, a good zap, but still.
I believe you got 1 hit in with the Hog Rider.
Yeah,
what I can tell. 1 or 2.
Maybe 1.
If you got 2 hits in, I think that's probably worth it.
Yeah.
Now he's smart move. He put the Elixir Collector in the middle now because if a Minor comes to it, both towers will shoot it in the center. So I think that's a smart adaptation by Desi Man. As you can tell, like, and still the Mini P.E.K.K.A.'s there.
Yep.
And that actually made the Mini P.E.K.K.A. survive with more health than the first interaction.
Yeah.
So this push has a much higher chance of actually arriving.
Now, the only thing that I have to wonder about Desi Man, and maybe it's a deck that performs much better at 2 times Elixir, you notice he had to set himself up a good situation. Baby Dragon on the left, Mini P.E.K.K.A. on the right. If he had just that little more Elixir, he actually could have chosen to balloon one of the lanes. But being that he just doesn't quite have the regeneration necessary, even with 2 Elixir pumps, I think right now it's going to be hard for him to defend and then expect to set up a balloon counterattack.
You can see how powerful the Fire Spirits are at the Mini P.E.K.K.A. because it prevented Desi Man from playing the Minion Horde until after. Like, even though he did play the Minion Horde defensively and it killed the Mini P.E.K.K.A., it allowed the Mini P.E.K.K.A. to get to the tower and deal some damage. Great zap by Desi Man to get another shot.
Nice. 2 swings. Yeah, 2 swings on the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and that chunked that tower down low. But the problem being now, Desi Man has 2 low towers and one of them that is in spell range, and even a Fire Spirit could take that tower down. And so Tom BB Mobile, I'm sure he's just more than comfortable with just committing Elixir on the right side, which is what he's doing. This could be a big push for him.
I think great timing. I mean, it's actually great play by Tom BB with the Minor, because by disrupting Desi Man's Elixir Collector, he hasn't really been able to put together one of these huge Lava Hound pushes that you might expect.
And he hasn't even played the balloon a single time yet. That's still just being a wasted slot. Yeah.
It's been hard. It hasn't really had a chance to sit back and play, 12 unanswered Elixir. And the Minor comes and takes the other tower.
Oh my goodness.
And a game that looked very close not too long ago is now looking it's pretty hard.
Yeah,
I don't know how
yeah.
Desi Man's going to take 2 towers in 14 seconds.
Yeah, it's falling apart very quickly here, and he's gonna finally play the balloon.
a little
But
late. You're right though. I don't know if Desi Man understood how strong that balloon was going to be. Almost nothing in Tom Beebe's deck could kill the balloon.
Yeah.
But Tom
Especially
Beebe
after
managed
they
to keep the
committed
tempo.
Yeah.
I mean, Mini P.E.K.K.A, Hog Rider constantly, that there was never really a time where it's like, oh, I'll just cast 2 Elixir Collectors and then a Lava Hound in the back. Like, Desi Man never really had the chance to build up 20 Elixir worth of push.
yeah, and oh man, that game was super interesting. Time is of the essence when you play a deck like a balloon deck, especially because you really want tons of Elixir to kind of put together those combos, and it's just.
Absolutely.
I think he didn't seize the moment. So, unfortunately, Desi Man lost that game. Let's jump into the next game here. Patuti versus Cyra. Interesting.
Not our last chance to see a balloon, though. We got the classic giant balloon is another popular archetype that we're seeing as people are catching their balloons up and leveling their balloons up to be the same level as their other cards. It's a really strong push because giant alone has 5,000 hit points. The balloon has another like 3,000, and you're really faced with how do I do this much damage that's coming right for my buildings and can't be distracted in the next few seconds.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Patuti's got double P.E.K.K.A. The double P.E.K.K.A attack.
This is super interesting because generally a big body plus a mini P.E.K.K.A is a great choice, just for the fact that the mini P.E.K.K.A is operating the best when it's not under tower fire, when it's not getting hit by structures. Now that it has mommy P.E.K.K.A protecting it, I mean, maybe it might work out. Plus the zap is a really helpful tool for a mini P.E.K.K.A.
The Elixir Collector seems like it's a really good play in this matchup because it's going to allow Patuti to sit back while Sirach is going to have to attack at some point. Like, the only thing Sirach can really do to pass the time is to play, like, maybe Giant or Ice Wizard behind your King Tower, maybe Barbarians back there. Patuti's going to be able to sit back and let that Giant come towards it right into the loving arms of the P.E.K.K.A family.
Yep. And one last thing to note about Patuti's deck is Archer, Spear Goblin, Fire Spirit is actually not that bad for anti-air. That's actually pretty sizable.
Not too bad.
That's pretty sizable. So he does have options to fight against the balloon. The question is, can he control the positioning of his drops well enough to actually target the balloon and not the giant? That's
always difficult. That's one of the biggest struggles right now with any sort of the tank balloon archetypes you're seeing. You see Golem sometimes, Lava Hound's popular with balloons, is how to get your placement so that your unit actually locks onto the balloon first. Because if they lock onto the Giant or the Lava Hound, you're done.
Yeah, you're done. That balloon is just going to bomb your tower.
GG, well played.
Thank you for the game.
Interesting mini P.E.K.K.A here. With the Fire Spirits as well. Now, while the Barbarians are cleaned up, and it looks like that Ice Wizard might get a little taste of medicine too. Good job stopping the balloon.
That's what we were talking about, man. Archers, Spear Goblins is actually a lot of air damage.
And even though the Ice Wizard got to fire a whole lot of shots, that high-value mini P.E.K.K.A chopped through an entire squad of Barbarians and took out the Ice Wizard.
Yeah. Great defense. That was actually really, really impressive by Patuti.
But look how
no damage on his tower.
Patuti already has 2 Elixir Collectors out, been able to make really, really good value out of that mini P.E.K.K.A and parlay that into more Elixir Collectors. Great play though by Sirach fireballing Elixir Collectors. That's a very underrated play. I'm gonna write a whole Reddit article about why you should be doing that.
Yeah, especially for the deck that Patuti is running. I think do it. You
never want to let them build it, because right now, as you see, Patuti was forced into using that Elixir early.
Man, those Barbarians got cleaned up fast. Did you see that?
I mean, mini P.E.K.K.A plus a single Archer arrow will kill a Barbarian. So with the 2 Archers, the P.E.K.K.A and the mini P.E.K.K.A can just one hit effectively.
Combination hit. Oh my god, look at how much chump damage.
The Fireball wipes it out though. Great way to stifle the bleeding by Sirach.
Yeah, but still a fantastic push by Patuti. 776 on that right side tower. The amount of chump units that had uptime on the tower, and that actually is one of my favorite feelings in Clash Royale, when you do a big push and after everything is said and done, you just have your small cards just beating down that tower.
We're back to even now, so Patuti gets back onto his Elixir Collector game with less than 70 seconds left, though. This one Elixir Collector won't see its full value, and you're definitely not going to.
This is trouble because he had to play that Elixir Collector, and that provided Cyra the opportunity to play the Giant in the back, and now he's charging up Elixir for that balloon combination, and that could one-shot the tower on the left side if Patuti doesn't defend well.
Oh, the Fire Spirits get picked apart by the tower and the Ice Wizard. And those Barbarians tie up the P.E.K.K.A. It's looking pretty good on the left side now.
He needs the arrows. I wish he would just arrows it.
Yeah, I was going to say, those cheap units, looks like, the Zap does not kill Archers. One of the strengths of Archers
Yep.
is that they do not die to Zap.
I think ideally
arrows.
I think ideally what Cyra wanted was arrows and zap to hit the archer and the goblins and the skeletons.
Great defense by Patuti, because even though his push fell apart there on the right side, Cyra did almost no damage.
Yeah.
I think maybe no damage.
He's doing so well positioning his anti-air,
Half
and
health
now
Pekka.
the Pekka, my Pekka, big swing. Oh my God!
Takes out the cannon. Big
64.
Pekka takes the swing, knocks the tower down with 5 seconds
Oh
left.
my
Excellent
God.
timing by Patuti. Honestly, great defense on that one push. That giant balloon push over on the left should have taken a tower.
Yeah.
I think Cyra was a little slow to cast the arrows and just couldn't push through the damage. That's the big danger about the giant balloon pushes compared to something like Pekka, Mini Pekka, is that since giant and balloon can't defend themselves, you're really risking 10 elixir that is not going to kill any units on the hope to kill that tower. And if your push gets repelled, you just find yourself in an incredible hole.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to make sure that when you commit that elixir and that time on the field, that you're getting value off of it. One thing I really liked, I just love to see that the Mommy Pekka was actually played again, because it's a card we haven't seen in a while. You know,
Yeah.
it's
As
a
Big
card
Pekka has not been seen in a while.
Yeah.
Big Mama's house.
All right, moving on. So 1 or 2 more games, and then we're gonna close out that raffle. If you guys don't remember, the question is, what is your current favorite kind of top 8 regular in the Super Magical Cup? Which one do you want to see win and why? So that is the raffle question. We'll close it out in about 1 or 2 more matches. Let's
And of
jump
course,
in.
Rainey and I are neutral observers.
Neutral observers.
We don't have our favorites that we talk about off stream or anything like
No,
that. We don't
definitely
fanboy
not.
out when they come onto our stream and teach us
No.
how to play decks or anything like that.
We're
No,
not
no.
humans. We don't do that. We don't do that.
Totally neutral.
All right.
I'm excited. Rob Stark versus Skylander. I've been catching up on Game of Thrones. I'm about early season
too.
3 right now. I'm really excited to see Rob Stark take the Iron Throne.
Me too. Me too. Let's yeah.
Oh, we'll see how that goes as I keep watching the episodes.
We'll see. Yes.
So Rob Stark's playing another giant balloon deck and actually has a factor we didn't see in the last one, the Mini Pekka that we talked about.
Yeah.
Having giant to tank the tower and having Mini Pekka run from behind and around is suddenly terrifying because that Mini Pekka can just run chopping down every tree on your side of the board
Yep.
while the
Chops
tower
down
wastes
trees
its
very
time
well.
shooting the giant.
Yep. And meanwhile for Skylander, I think this is a very I think this is like he's really expecting to just play standard control Clash Royale. Wizard, good defense. Barbarian, good defense. Minion Horde, good defense. Really, his only fast-moving card is a Hog Rider. The Valkyrie moves super slow. He's not looking to catch you off guard. He's looking to defend and then push back and utilize his freeze in an opportune way.
We might be seeing a balloon hit a tower this time because the only thing that defends against balloon is Wizard and Minion Horde, and Rob Stark has the arrows and the Princess. So really, we're going to be relying on just the Wizard to stop the balloon, which it can do one-on-one. But if the Wizard happens to lock on to a giant or be placed in the wrong lane or something, that balloon has got a good shot.
It's
He's
got
going to
a
have to rely
clear-
on freeze, maybe.
It's got a straight shot at the tower. So, and that's the other thing too. We still haven't seen buildings.
Actually, buildings, Miner, I put it back on the match, but Miner and Princess and Royal Giant have almost single-handedly pushed buildings out of the meta along with the nerfs. I hope that in the next update, Mortar and Expo see a little bit of a buff. Because I do like those decks. I feel like they should exist in the meta, and I feel like it's unfortunate we haven't seen them. Oh, we gotta open up with a giant balloon.
Oh God!
Going right forward. Punishing the Elixir Collector. Skylander tried to get away with the 5 Elixir Collector, and that's what happens.
It's too late. It's on the giant. And the arrows. No! That's what you were talking about. The arrows for the Minion Horde.
Already
and now
had
the
it, and he
balloons
didn't have it. Skylander didn't have it in his opening hand, so he had to cycle a little bit to find it. On the plus side, though, not a lot on Rob Stark's side to defend. He does have the... Oh, and there's no zap. Big downside of Skylander, he's running Freeze and Fireball. Great spells, very powerful spells. But without zap, these little cards like Skeletons are going to go a long way.
Man, and the thing we mentioned in the last game was a player was not playing aggressively, I feel, enough with his balloons, but Rob Stark just said,
fear.
I have a balloon, deal with it.
King of the North.
Yep.
Coming from the skies. So Rob Stark is so it's interesting because he could play an Elixir Collector here, but I worried he doesn't actually have any good cards to play against the Valkyrie. He can't play the Barbarian, Giant, a lot of those cards. So it looks like he's just going to have to take the Valkyrie damage. Thankfully, Skylander matched with his own. Big downside here, though, Skylander made a mistake playing the Elixir Collector touching the tower. If Rob Stark were to play a Princess, the Princess shots would hit the Elixir Collector and the tower.
Oh, goodness.
Getting
Here
extra
comes
value there.
Another giant.
There's the arrows
combo.
up. Where's the minions?
He's thinking about it. I actually. Okay, good. Freeze.
Those are the freeze.
I kind of like that option because I feel like Rob Stark was just waiting for Skylander to play the minion for it.
He needed the wizard, though. If you notice, he didn't really have enough to play the wizard until the end, and he still got a balloon damage through it. If you're going to cast freeze on my balloon and I still drop a bomb, I'm thrilled. You spent a lot of elixir on that. Oh, look how great that mini peck is at stopping a hog.
Oh! He played the skeletons into the wizard, and I think it was okay. It was all right. It stopped. I don't think it was actually going to get to the tower, but one elixir just to make sure.
Taking value off, that's huge.
Goodbye.
You could have taken 1 to 2 pumps off that Elixir Collector, which for free is just a pure mistake on Skylander's part. All right, here we go, giant balloons. The Barbarians are already out in the other lane, so they are going to die to the Princess while also not being good, not going to be there to stop the Giant.
Oh, he actually chose to use freeze on the left side, on the aggressive tower.
What if that was a mistake?
Oh no, mini P.E.K.K.A. chop. Could chop. Oh, double Princess.
The splash does hit.
Got it.
See, the Princess is such a meta-defining card. If you can't stop it, it will just shoot an infinite amount of times. How much did that Princess in the middle shoot? She shot 10 attacks, right? Like, that's so much value for only 3 elixir. And there goes the mini P.E.K.K.A. chopping up the wizard. Wink. And we really needed, Silverliner needed that Hog Rider to get to the right tower. It wouldn't have won because obviously down by 2, but in order to take that tower, really need the Hog to get there. Didn't quite make it. Rob Stark takes it.
Man,
Giant balloon is so fun to watch.
So, I actually have a question for you after watching that game. I think Skylander is looking to play control. Actually, I believe.
Let's pull that deck up again.
It was Skylander. It was right above that. Rob Stark. Rob Stark Skylander is right below. So let's take a look at that match preview here, and after we're done talking about
this is the game, So Rob Stark 1-2-0.
So I have a question for you, Rumham. I feel like Skylander's deck was hard set on defense, right? I mean, he has a given. I think the one thing that really hurts him is just that he has 5 elixirs in the wizard, 5 elixirs in the barbarian, 5 elixirs in the minion.
I think honestly the biggest thing that killed him that deck is a slow reactive deck. Every card in the deck costs at least 4, and about half of them cost 5. So it's pretty reasonable to assume that what happened is if you suddenly get caught, like we saw for example in the first game, how good just archers, spear goblins are at stopping balloon. Even just like just archers can probably do it. Just musketeer can probably do it. And when you're caught with the only ability to play wizard and freeze, 9 elixir, and that doesn't even stop. That doesn't even kill the balloon and the giant. It's just it just buys time. I don't think Skyliner really had the ability to stop a push like giant in balloon like the last deck did.
So in your mind, for Skyliner's deck, would you say that you would have been a little more comfortable with seeing maybe some more chump cards in there? Maybe something just a little bit more
I mean,
effective?
It's easy to, when you're looking at a deck list, to be like, oh, well, why don't I just upgrade Knight to Valkyrie? Why don't I just upgrade, Bomber to Wizard and Minions to Minion Horde and all that kind of stuff? But if you do that over and over and over again, you're caught with just a deck like this. I mean, maybe he could do Zap instead of Freeze or Fireball, right? But having 2 4-cost spells instead of 1 cheap one and 1 expensive one hurts you, because if you ever find a time that you want a cheap spell, you just have 2 expensive ones. If you ever find a time where you want an expensive spell, you have redundancy. You're like, oh man, I don't need 2 Fireballs. What I need is, something cheap.
Interesting.
Let's close the raffle, but I'm excited about this next game that we'll show. After this raffle closes, we're going to take Jason the Giant, the winner of the Helsinki tournament, is in this tournament as well, and we're going to show one of his games next. So let's go back to the
let's go to the lobby.
Go back to the raffle.
Interesting things to think about with that Jason deck preview there, but let's go ahead and close out the raffle, guys. So the question was, what Super Magical Cup regular top 8 finisher do you most want to win, and why? And so you would type !raffle space your message to answer. And we're going to go ahead and close that out and pick the winners. So here we go. We're going to draw our first winner here, and it's going to be Sammy Clash. And Sammy Clash says Mazarath because I live in the Philippines and we are countrymen. Wow. I
didn't
actually
realize
really,
Mazrath was from the Philippines.
I actually really like that. One of the great things about Clash Royale, I feel, is just that it's so much less ping dependent than a lot of the other competitive games out there, that you get some great international competition. Just look at the ladder. Look at how many people from different nationalities are on the top of the leaderboards. It's great. I really like that.
Yeah, shout out to Mazrath for being up probably what is late at night to him playing in the Super Magical Cup.
All right, Ravhan, why don't you go ahead and announce our second winner here?
It's your boy Jocks.
It's your boy.
It's your boy Jocks is the winner. He's like Rye Guy because I'm probably the only one who believes in him. Oh, no, we believe in Rye Guy. We just haven't seen him. I don't know if Rye Guy's even playing this week.
You know, Rye Guy, I actually saw his name in the bracket. I can't be sure because I don't think we actually got to spectate a game of his.
Okay.
But I saw his name in last week's bracket.
Okay,
he played,
last week's.
But I don't think he made it out to the top 8. But when he did, when we got to see him perform in the Super Magical Cup #2 and he ended up winning the thing, I felt like he played really fantastically. Maybe he hasn't had the time. Maybe he just, a single elimination bracket is pretty ruthless.
Yeah, well, we all believe in Rye Guy. Unfortunately, he did not enter this week's tournament, and so we'll root for him in the future.
Cool. The last winner for our giveaway is going to be Craig010, and he says Clark Kent because he has a cool name. There are many other reasons to have Clark Kent as a winner other than the fact that he has a cool name.
There's someone out there whose name is really Clark Kent, and they're like, finally, someone I can root for, somebody I can look up to that shares my name.
Yes, absolutely. Cool. So thank you so much for your answers, and we will quickly start the second raffle so that we constantly have one going. We will quickly start that second raffle for you guys and get that second question out there. The second question is going to be, what deck is most fun to play for you and why? So what deck do you have the most fun playing? It might not be your most effective deck, but just the one that you think is the most entertaining to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? I'm trolling the chat. I'm here to answer some questions if you got them.
All right, so opening up that next raffle, make sure you type !raffle space message, and that would be the answer to the question that we have provided. What deck is the most fun to play for you and why? All right, Rumham, we have a very exciting match here.
Jason the Giant all the way from Helsinki, Finland.
Number one thing about Jason that I think was super interesting about him in the Helsinki tournament was that he ran a very earnest deck, right? Just solid cards, played good Clash Royale to win. But I think as the game develops, you need to be able to diversify yourself. Absolutely. You need to be able to be flexible, and I think Jason might be embodying that. Take a look at his deck, Rumham. Tell me about it.
Well, it's still, I think one of the things that makes Jason a trademark as a player is that he doesn't really do gimmicks, right? He's very much just a straightforward kind of beatdown player, and I'm still seeing that here. I mean, one things that are interesting is no elixir collector, so it looks like the deck's just going to be pretty aggressive. Like, the only way it can really invest elixir is with Ice Wizard, Barbarians in the back. That's about it, right? So...
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a pretty aggressive play out of Jason here, constantly using the Hog and the other cards to try to push through damage. Agent Ryan is playing a kind of unusual Royal Giant deck. I don't see a lot of Royal Giant with Freeze, but it kind of makes sense because Mini P.E.K.K.A. Freeze, Valkyrie Freeze are all very powerful. But 3 spells along with the Royal Giant, that's a lot to support the push.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested in Agent Ryan's deck. I actually hope that it would be kind of successful because it does seem kind of unique to me. So let's go ahead and watch that match and see what transpires. Agent Ryan, interesting deck.
001.
All right.
Got hired several months before Mr. Bond.
Several months. I wonder whatever happened to him.
Okay, so Jason opts to go with just a Hog and kind of see where it goes.
Nowhere.
I like the bait there, right? Like, he got to Fireball the Tower and the Barbarians. But that's still 8 elixir.
Oh, and this is kind of the minion. Okay, yep. The minions will clean it up nicely. But the Royal Giant already tagged onto the tower. Look at it. Clean. Royal Giant.
I mean, yeah, that's a ton. 1,000 hit points. even though he had cannon and minions out.
Yep.
That's the downside of playing decks that maybe aren't that strong on defense. Jason now has his barbarians, though, so the next Royal Giant is going to be met with a much more hostile welcome crowd.
And in many ways, the initial play that you have in Clash Royale is not indicative, really, of how the rest of the game will play out, just because you need to arrange the cycling of your cards.
Yep, and that's not only do you need to arrange the cycling of the cards, but just seeing how your opponents react. Like, Jason didn't know that he had barbarians right away. Now he does. Very interesting from Agent Ryan, having both barbarians and mini P.E.K.K.A. really makes those hog riders from Jason kind of a shakier thing. Unfortunately, Jason played his cannon a little too far up by the river, and it didn't get the tower attacking along with the cannon. But the Royal Giant still went down. Still 3-4 shots is a lot.
Interesting situation. Agent Ryan has now won 2 exchanges against Jason, and he's very well on his way.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that we see a lot in tournament play, is that at a certain point, your safest option is actually just to play incredibly defensively and even be Elixir inefficient in your defense, just to make sure you don't take damage on your tower, and just cycle fireballs exactly like this.
Okay, I like that strategy. Cycling fireballs is definitely the best way to get him. But Jason does a great job punishing him by dropping not just everything in his hand when he knows he's low, but also specifically the barbarians that now can't be fireballed.
Yeah, and look at how effective those are. The barbarians slice through the back line, and now they make it to the tower, and that was a good push by Jason, probably the first one that we've seen that did significant damage, and all off of Agent Ryan's decision to try to fireball the tower with the Ice Wizard. And I think this is one of the things that is the key part of it. It's good to cycle your fireballs, but you need to make sure you're reading your opponent's elixir right, and you're reading their card cycle right.
So he missed the Ice Wizard with the Fireball. That freeze was somewhat questionable because, as you can see, it allowed Jason to really build up a strong counter push. I mean, freeze doesn't kill anything, right? So while he froze minions and a cannon and Ice Wizard, those cards came back to haunt him on the counter push.
Freeze is very finesse card, and that's why I can't remember. I think maybe it was Mazerath who was really great at freeze. But meanwhile, Agent Ryan
seeing it again,
and he's gonna fireball the right side tower. Good choice. I like how he waited until the end of the game. But the problem is, Barbarian's untouched, Ice Wizard untouched, and here comes a Hog Rider, and this Barbarian Hog Rider Ice Wizard combo is serving trouble for Agent Ryan. Fireball on top of all of that too, and Jason again with a huge push down to 1,000 health on his left side tower. Agent Ryan back to the wall all of a sudden.
Great play by Jason to figure out his sequence. Like, he lost the first 2 exchanges and then basically adapted with, okay, he's gonna, once he fireballs my tower, barbarians, hogs, spear goblins will take the tower. And then once he saw that worked, he didn't try to mix it up again. He did it again, right?
Yeah.
Like, did the same move again, and it was equally effective the second time.
Oh my goodness, the barbarians chop it down. Fireball is gonna do a little bit. Oh, it was just enough. Jason.
Masterful performance. I think a lot of players would have folded in that situation. I think it's easy to get dejected when you're down essentially within 2 fireballs from death and you haven't done any damage to their tower, but I think Jason was able to adapt, figure out how to sequence his cards to get through the opponent's defense, and that is the sign of a great beatdown player.
Absolutely. So just as a reminder, what deck is the most fun for you to play and why? That is our raffle question. Enter to win buckets of gems. 3 winners will be picked for a bucket of gem each. Interesting note about that match. I feel like it is true that I think Jason played that out really well, but I think Agent Ryan had that game in his hands. I think he definitely did. The big thing about it is he threw his fireball before there was any commitment made, right? And the safest way to do it, again, is to play defensively first, wait for them to commit, clear out the threat, and then start cycling the fireball. I think he jumped the gun a little bit, and just that little difference, Jason was keen enough. You can't slip that by a player of Jason's caliber. He was keen enough to see, hey, that was early, now I'm going to punish you for that. And he grabbed the momentum of the game and never let it go. Won in late game. Yeah. Which is amazing. I think a double elixir win for a beatdown deck against a deck that is more controlled or using big bodies, I think is pretty, it's not something you see every day.
I think Jason knew that he was going to commit to the fireball plan and punished him for it. I'm not actually sure if Agent Ryan had seen the barbarians when he cast fireball. I think if he would have known barbarians were around, you want to hold it.
Yeah. All right. We had Rob Stark, and now we have the Kingslayer. The Kingslayer.
These 2 guys should meet sometime.
yeah, they should. He's the king in the north, but we'll see. Kingslayer and Zenit. Kingslayer is now running 2 of the 3 legendaries.
I mean, the Minor Princess are the 2 most common that go together. Ice Wizard isn't required for that deck or anything.
It's just a good card.
Yeah, it just sometimes makes an appearance. I mean, the 2 main things you're going to see out of Kingslayer is using Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Minion Horde on defense, and then throwing the Miner on the counter push to take the tower. Zote, I really like the Royal Giant Witch combo. Ever since Witch got buffed, you're seeing a lot more of this together. Witch is interesting in that she complements the Royal Giant in every way. She's a ranged attacker, she can hit the air, she can especially splash damage either barbarians or minion hordes, and the skeletons that she provides distract Inferno towers, they swarm up on goblins and other small things in the way. They can kill the cannon that's locked on to the Royal Giant, all sorts of stuff. I mean, if that combo really gets going, gets revved up, it's one of the most potent in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this game plays out here. Kingslayer versus Zote. All right, Kingslayer, Zote.
I actually really like Musketeer with the Royal Giant too. The deck that I've been playing a lot on the ladder recently is actually, I took out what is normally the Barbarian spot or the Mini P.E.K.K.A. spot, and I put in Musketeer. Musketeer, besides being a ranged attacker, incredibly strong against Mini P.E.K.K.A.s.
Yeah.
People play Mini P.E.K.K.A. against your Royal Giant, she just...
Yeah, nice. No, doesn't want any of that. Doesn't want any of that, so Princess...
Ooh, big push there. So that's 9 elixir right there. Arrows are already down, so we know he doesn't have an easy way to get rid of...
Oh, the Mini P.E.K.K.A. went to the tower, not the Musketeer. Oh my... He's got to take a tower.
Wow, and it's right there, and it's out of tower range, and it's chopping up that Royal Giant. And it's still alive.
Oh my god.
I don't know if Zote knew that Mini P.E.K.K.A. was in there. We saw it when it was cast, but... What's a very common thing is you can hide it. Yeah, you can hide the Mini P.E.K.K.A. in the Minion Horde. And if he just thought it was a Minion Horde, that might explain why he just cast the Musketeer.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Spear Goblins and Miner, pretty effective hit here.
Look at that chump damage. Oh my god.
It's a ton of damage. Honestly, I think people really underrate Miner decks because legendary-based decks are usually weaker on the ladder than they are in tournaments because people have, say, level 11 commons with a level 1 legendary. But in tournaments, since everything's kind of balanced out, the legendaries feel very, very strong.
Nice defense by Kingslayer. That was very clean. Barely any damage done to his tower.
And once again, the arrows are actually out of Zote's hands, so Kingslayer can run out the Minion Horde if he really wants to.
Yeah, he could even Miner Minion Horde. I mean, I think that's an incredibly strong combination.
I don't know if he's aware of Zote's Zap in his hand, but it looks like he's opting to go with the cheaper build because, Zap's going to come out of the hand, I think. Unless he's just going to let it happen. You just can't... Oh, come on. You had a Zap, Zote. Come on.
Oh, man. And I think he's kind of underestimating the amount of damage that the Spear Goblins can do. That was a significant amount of health loss on his left side tower.
You can tell that he's using the Baby Dragon. He opted for the Baby Dragon there because he wants a tank to build a push around.
Yeah.
The Baby Dragon's really not a particularly strong tank. And while he did some damage... I think you'd been better off zapping the Spear Goblins there.
I think that was a good push by Zote if it had been maybe a minute into the game.
Royal Giant.
Maybe a minute and a half into the game, but I think it's just too late to take that small bit of damage and call it a win.
Well, we're finally seeing the combo put together. It's not really the full power of the combo. He didn't have spells ready to clear out any sort of immediate defense. It's felt kind of like a desperation play here, which is right. I mean, you got to go for it in the last minute of the game.
Yeah.
But I think Kingslayer's going to take this one. He looks very comfortably up right now. This last push actually could do it, but the cannon out is going to take too much of the hit points.
Good timing on the cannon. Minion Horde on top. That's an arrows if I've ever seen it.
Zote opts not the arrows.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I feel like could have seen more commitment out of Zote on these pushes. It felt like he was a little optimistic that these pushes were going to win with a little less than the full amount of elixir needed.
Yeah, I agree. But Kingslayer set up some very good pushes of his own. Man, I can't believe just the Mini P.E.K.K.A. is one of those cards that just, if you don't defend well, you're done. That first tower in the first 30 seconds, I want to say, of the match.
It's definitely kind of like Hog Rider, a card that takes advantage of if you only have one card to deal with it. Like, let's say your whole deck is expensive cards, then you just have one copy of Skeletons. If it's not in your opening hand, what do you do, right? Like, Mini P.E.K.K.A. is running at you, and you're like, do I just drop the Witch? And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Whoa. What is the best choice? All right, let's see. Let's see what happens here. Poison makes its first appearance.
There we go. And we have another giant balloon deck, a quickly rising popular archetype in tournament play. I really like it. It's a really fun archetype to watch and to play as and against. So I'm excited to see how popular it is. Poison adds a new element to it because when you throw down giant like say throw a giant in the back, and then the balloon as it gets close to the river, you have the extra elixir to cast poison, then suddenly they can't even do the little things like spear goblins and archers and stuff
it suddenly
like that.
becomes a lot less, because not only will it eventually take them down, but it also slows down their attack speed, which means the balloon has more time to start bashing on your tower. So meanwhile, on the other side, Eames is running princess only. There's no miner, but he's running classic hog freeze. He's stuck to his guns.
It's a hog cycle deck. I mean, it's definitely an aggressive cycle deck. We have both Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Hog Rider with some of the cheap supporting units. Zap and freeze for the 2 spells. What's interesting is that Young Lean's deck has 10 elixir worth of things that can't defend themselves. I wonder how much casting that is going to leave him open to IM's potent counter pushes.
Yeah, and I almost think that this game will be up to Young Lean kind of identifying how much he wants to give away in terms of tower health and how much he wants to sacrifice in order to gain momentum. In these cases, when you don't have a good defense against your opponent's cards, sometimes your best strategy is just think about, okay, how can I 3-crown this guy, because I'm not actually going to be able to stop him, so it's a race, right? Spear Goblins early on for Young Lean, and I think that might just have been for cycling. He says oops, but I actually think that's not too bad of a move.
I think it was oops in that he cast them right as the other guy cast the princess, and they didn't go very well together.
Goblins plus the Mini P.E.K.K.A. plus the Hog Riders, a lot of elixir committed.
Oh, and the Mini P.E.K.K.A. survives and is not getting the tanking now.
Goodness.
The zap there made it retarget. Great play, by the way, by IMs. The zap on the tower made it retarget off of the Mini P.E.K.K.A. up to the Hog Rider that it was now closer. So it allowed the Mini P.E.K.K.A. to tank for about 500 hit points, and then still be alive to do its full damage.
Yep.
Very
Very
switching.
ideal situation.
Very smart. I don't know how intentional that was, but if he does it again, that is a excellent play. If you've never seen it before. I don't like that princess placement. Okay, he had the skeletons. I thought the musketeer was going to kill the princess.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of skeletons, right? Princess plus skeletons is still only 4, and it was an even trade, and now Young Lean had to spend additional elixir to make sure the princess was
Surprised
down.
he didn't zap those spear goblins, because I feel like if he had quickly zapped there, the tower and the spear goblins could have gotten maybe 1 or 2 more attacks in by the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and that's huge.
Or maybe Eames is just the kind of player who really, really values his zap on an aggressive push. I mean, we saw how well he used it in the first time. Big connection onto the tower, and now comes the Mini P.E.K.K.A. giant combination with Mini P.E.K.K.A. leading.
And there's the balloon.
Here it comes. And this is interesting because Eames actually dumped his elixir into other units. He actually doesn't have anti-air right now. The balloon's just flying free.
But once again, Young Lean, outside of the archers, has actually nothing. There's the 2. Oh, misses the zap on the spear goblins, but it's still, 1 attack is still enough.
Yeah, and this is
the balloon's still going.
And take a look, 1 minute 5 seconds, and I feel like if Young Lean had actually decided to just let a tower go and just play a big push each time, he may have had that tower down 1 cycle earlier, and now he could threaten for 3 crown. Instead, now he's in danger of getting 3 crown if he commits too much elixir to a push.
And I actually don't like Eames playing the minions like a few seconds ago, because he needed him to defend against these cards. But actually, it looks like Young Lean's spinning.
Oh, it's targeted onto Hog.
We mentioned it. Oh, there's the freeze for the win.
No, it was actually so close.
We talked about it. 10 elixir is a lot to commit when you don't have any defense. There's no cannon in that deck. There was really no defensive cards. As soon as he dropped that 10, we saw 8 come up on the right side, and he didn't have anything to defend against.
I mean, that simple Hog Rider Mini P.E.K.K.A. opening combination was so strong. And I don't think that's...
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Let's try to see if there's any more games. Oh, we do have some other interesting games in this bracket.
Oh, yeah. We should definitely take a look at what transpired for that match, because...
Yeah, he's a former top 8 competitor.
Yeah.
See, it looks like we're trying to get caught up to real time. Well, here's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah, let's try this one. This looks interesting. We got some interesting matches in it.
Cool. Yeah.
We so normally we do... Yeah. Oh, here we go. Game 3. Perfect. So this is game 3 of their matchup. So this is the deciding game and whether or not they move forward. Baron Shadow versus Zenit. And Baron Shadow is a former top 8 competitor. He's top 8 before. Zenit is a new face that we haven't seen regularly.
Baron Shadow is a fairly consistent player. I think at least in the last 2 tournaments, I believe both times, or at least in the last 3, he's made it twice in the top 8 for sure. And he just plays very solid all the way around. I think he still has a step to go before he can compete against tournament winners, but he's there. He's right at their heels. So, take a look at his deck. Miner Ice Wizard this time rather
no
than
princess. Kind of surprising.
And he's got freeze, so it's kind of a mini P.E.K.K.A. freeze Valkyrie freeze kind of thing, and then using Miner to do the pop-up tank, and then Ice Wizard Cannon for good defense.
Zenit's got an interesting deck because Hog Rider is very fast, and obviously you can attack and cycle and stuff, but Barbarians and Minion Horde are kind of slow and predictable and easy to counter. So I wonder if there's like I'm interested to see how Zenit plays the deck. It must be a very defensive deck with the Barbs and Minion Horde before really committing with the Hog Rider on the counter push.
We'll see. We'll see how Zenit plays it out. And as we get into this next game, guys, remember the raffle question is now posted in the chat again. And also remember, if you are an Apple Store user and you want to be rewarded in Apple Store credits for the Bucket of Gems, you need to be in the United States. Google Play can be applied to internationally, so that's okay. But Apple can only be fulfilled to the United States. So, early Hog Rider Goblin, Valkyrie Cannon.
No problem.
Nope.
Costs only one more elixir, but look how much recovery did. Now that Minion Horde's great for defending. I like the idea that Valkyrie would tank for the Miner. As opposed normally Miner tanks for other things, but Valkyrie has so many hit points. The Miner actually can just go wild and do maybe 500, 600, 700 damage before it catches up.
And this is one of the things that I think is great about the higher end players is they know how to take the small victories, right? Ideally, like the Valkyrie will do more damage, so technically you want that one to be the one hitting the tower, but in how the situation transpired, actually how it played out was Baron Shadow got more damage just because he valued winning small steps at a time.
Yeah. Let's
just be okay with the Miner doing the damage instead of the Valkyrie, and we're guaranteed gonna get some help down on that tower.
So far, great defense by both players. Each player has made pushes that the other player has countered and left pretty much full health units on the board to counter push with. It just hasn't quite punched through on either side. Thinking about it, Zenit, you're wasting elixir, don't know.
And he's got the zap. Nice defense. Good defense by Zenit.
The Ice Wizard cleans up the last of those Minion Horde zone. I think between the Cannon and the Ice Wizard, that Hog Rider's not going anywhere. I didn't really like that zap from Zenit because, like, what are you zapping, right? You're not doing much damage to the Ice Wizard or the Cannon. It's not pushing through any damage onto a tower. You kind of just wasted that 2 elixir. If you look, Zenit might have been 1 elixir ahead, and instead now he's 1 elixir behind.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is Baron Shadow throughout this whole game has been the one on the aggressive front. Xena has constantly been having to defend. He can't put together a good counter push at all.
Xena's been trying to with the Hog Riders, but they just keep getting stifled by the cannon and never really goes anywhere beyond that. Yeah. Ooh, that is a powerful freeze.
Look at the minions tearing up the units on the tower. They're doing so much damage, and this is, again, just the counter push is just not really that effective.
I don't really like that fireball either. I mean, you did a little bit of damage, and you didn't kill the Ice Wizard. You spent, I mean, the Ice Wizard's still attacking.
Yeah, and it just cleaned up that minion horde, too.
Yeah.
Miner in the back, tanking for the Ice Wizard and the Valkyrie. Princess is being played as a defense, but the minions will come from behind.
The Miner's still tanking. Oh, and what a freeze!
Freeze!
Only the one goblin, those minions.
Nice. Baron
Excellent.
Shadow.
Excellent Baron Shadow play, taking advantage of the Zap. Like, Zap is one of those cards that, like, oh yeah, it'll kill because my tower will clean up the rest of it. But with cards like Freeze and Miner that disable a tower, suddenly Zap is effectively not good at all.
Hey, we're just still gonna do maximum damage and tear up your tower. Baron Shadow, that was actually a really solid game.
Great use of Freeze there to finish up, because you could tell early on it looked like nobody was going to get through any damage. Baron Shadow was able to punch through damage by kind of almost like cheating the idea, right? Like, oh, I'll zap it and my tower will clean it up. Well, haha, your tower doesn't exist anymore. Like,
yeah.
Actually, are we closing the raffle now? Or
let's go ahead and close the raffle, and there's some interesting
while you're doing that, actually, I want to show you do the raffle closing or the draws, and I'm going to show something on the brackets.
So I just closed the raffle, and we'll announce the winners here.
Go ahead.
Murto7 says, my deck with Sparky is great because it brings me 3-0 winning scores. He likes to 3-crown people, Rumham. I like to 3-crown people.
Sparky. I have a Sparky, and I've been trying to use it, and I can't. It doesn't work for me. So congratulations to Murto on that one.
And I mean, in previous Super Magical Cups, we didn't.
We didn't actually message him.
Give me a second.
Oh
here. Yeah. Let me try to figure this out. Sorry.
Murto7.
All right, Murto7, you are the winner. And unfortunately, we did not announce that in chat, but you will be receiving a message in your Twitch inbox, and that will give you further directions on what you need to do to collect your prize. Where is the message there? It's hiding there. Give away. And bear with us just one moment.
Yeah,
one moment.
We'll get back to the matches here in 1 second. We got Murto as the first giveaway winner. I wanted to show off the bracket of the whole tournament, taking a look at the larger thing.
All right, cool. So I think we're back. So Zerkrom7 is the next winner, and he says, Hog Freeze because I am using this deck since Arena 4. I mastered it already. That is a definitive statement.
That is excellent.
I am 3.3k range, level 8 as free to play. That is sick.
Very
Still
good. Very
no
impressive.
legendary though. Sad.
Aw.
Well, eventually it'll show up in your store.
So let's take, before we draw the last giveaway winner and get back into the matches, let's take a look at the group play, the larger brackets. Any stories from earlier on? Biggest one I see so far is Jeff, a prior top 8 finisher, gets eliminated in the second round by Chief Lord. Sparks is also someone that we've seen in past weeks, so we'll see who comes out of that matchup later.
And when you see that happen, it's important to look at those players that did knock them out. How will Chief Lord do moving on into perhaps the top 8? How will Sparks do?
Downside, Mr. Frodenath, another topic, but I don't know what happened with the 6 there, but clearly lost and didn't move to the next round. This is the matchup that we're going to have to watch, right? Baron Shadow, who we just watched, against Jason the Giant.
And Jason actually got stopped by Fridenoth the last time that we saw him.
Right.
And Fridenoth was a player that was kind of at the top end, making it into the top 8, but not really kind of at that tier that could defeat tournament winners. Baron Shadow, I think, is kind of in that same zone. How will Jason fare against him? That's a question that I want to see the answer to. Some
of the matches we saw earlier, Patuti advances over Sirach and beats Kingslayer later on, getting to fight Young Lean, who we also watched. He must have beat Iams in their matches earlier. Let's see, Group C. Some big names. Mazarath, one of the raffle drawers, said that they were rooting for Mazarath, makes it to round 3 and hopefully beyond. Malcade, a former, a regular, I believe a multi-time top 4 competitor, goes up against Naders, the second place finisher last week. So that's another huge match going on down in Group C. Manufan.
Making it through. He's so consistent,
So consistent.
Manufan.
Arguably one of the best. I mean, I think you could make an argument that he's the best player. He seems, watching him play is next level. Fly Society, last week's winner, is advanced into round 3 against Devanch, who has 2-0'd both their competitors. So that's a formidable enemy for Fly Society. Clark Kent, as usual, trucking through the tournament, moving on, but comes up against a challenger in A-Chan, who has also regularly done well. We can't scroll any lower. Chief Anzarok is the last match, also I believe, a regular top competitor, so that is awesome.
Interesting. We have a lot of names moving through the bracket, so let's go ahead and finish out that raffle.
You have to message Zychrom first?
Yeah, we gotta throw this message. Thank you, Zychrom, for your answer. There we go. And the last winner for the giveaway, is going to be Monster Man 84. Says Hog Cycle because goblins and zap can ruin someone's day, and oh my god, can it. I like Hog Cycle decks, but I almost don't like Hog Cycle decks for the Hog Rider. I like them for the cheap cards that come with it. The goblins, the spear goblins, even the skeletons. That's what I like. I like to see the chump cards ripping up towers.
Actually, someone made a good point. I don't think Woody's playing this week.
Yeah.
Wow, that's right. So Woody didn't get eliminated. Woody simply is not present. So
here's how that will play out, right? There's a few, because Woody is not playing in this tournament, and let's take an aside and go back to the leaderboard here and just take a look. So here's a story to tell. Woody's not going to get points this week, but some people are, like Clark Kent. Clark Kent's going to get points. So is Manufan.
Well, hold on. Clark Kent has to hit the top 8 in order to get points.
That's true.
To be fair, he hasn't got there yet.
That is very true. You're right. He could get points. It is likely that he'll get points. It's likely that Manufan will get points. It's likely that Fly Society will get points. So the other interesting part is taking second place is 500 points. If Clark Kent manages to take second place, unless Manufan or Fly Society wins first place and takes 1,000 points, it could be entirely possible that Clark Kent will overtake Woody.
Yeah, I believe that's very possible. He only needs a regular performance. You want to jump in on this game while it's live? Check it out. We got a crazy game for you right now. We're gonna jump in live to Jason and Baron Shadow.
God, he's missing one tower already.
We're only a minute. Oh, I see. I thought it was a minute 30. Oh wow, I thought it said in the chat it was only 30 seconds in. It must have been a little delayed.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but Minor Knight.
Wow, Baron Shadow is so far looking pretty strong against Jason in this matchup.
This is Baron Shadow's alternative deck, I believe. And
yes, you're right. This is not the. So everyone has to bring 2 decks, and it looks like he's playing the second one. I wonder if that means that he won his first one or just opting a little different. Oh, wow. That Inferno Tower is actually not locked onto the Giant just yet. Now it is.
Tagged onto a low health minion, and then another low health minion, and the Giant actually pushes through with the double threat. Classic
This is the Jason the Giant deck, actually. If you notice, Jason's actually playing his Helsinki deck.
He still
running it.
He still maintains that it is the deck that he wants to run, and he actually evens up the game.
Wow, 30 seconds left.
This is difficult.
They've already played every card in their deck. If you notice, both players have gone all the way through it.
This is a difficult defense for Jason. That Giant is good play to stall, but it means that he's just gotten rid of any opportunity for a counterattack right now, so he's heading into overtime without his momentum that he would like. Meanwhile, Inferno Tower on the right side means a Hog Rider on the left could do a lot of damage. Knight in front, but that's not going to be a Barbarian-like defense. 2 swings, and that's a good win in overtime, but Jason needs to watch out for whatever's coming down the right side. Miner gets a good amount of swings onto that right side tower, and now Jason has to take care of the left side with a Knight, Ice Wizard, plus the Bomber on the right.
Dragging the Knight towards the middle so he's not actually going towards the tower. Great distraction by Jason.
Interesting that Jason plays a Giant such that it goes to the right lane. Maybe he's going for a 3-crown push. Maybe he's more confident with that space. Hog Rider just in front to
I
block.
like that distraction. He knew the Inferno Tower was coming and basically punched right through it.
Nice, and I like that transfer. Now the Giant has switched directions and is going to the left side tower. Maybe he was just reading that the Inferno Tower would be placed.
And the zap was just used on those Spear Goblins,
no, the minions!
Which means that the minions are just gonna tear up that tower. Is it enough to take it down? It's not.
Oh my
but
God.
only 500 left. Wow, Jason, what a push.
That was such a complex play from Jason, how that ended up playing out, and then ending with the minions doing the damage. Hog Rider to distract the Musketeer while the Musketeer gets ripped up by the King Tower just a little bit. Barbarians on top of the Inferno Tower is great, and this is what's so great about pushing when you have territory control on your opponent's side of the map.
Where's the zap? Is that enough? It's gonna do it. One more hit. One more hit.
Ah!
Oh,
my
out.
God! Oh my God!
Baron has a
Jason
lot of stuff
has
on the
no
board
spells.
to counter push with.
I think arrows might do barely too little damage.
I think he's gonna get stopped by a building. There's not enough buildings.
swing.
There's not enough buildings. Oh, the tower was too late. He had to
God.
cycle to it and he couldn't draw it in time. Jason takes it. I believe that was game 2 of their series.
Yeah, I wonder if Jason won the first one or not. That is the question. Let's go ahead and
Let's go. Yeah, we're not sure.
Oh my God.
Wow, I kind of want to watch game 3 of that.
Yeah, I do too.
Let's see.
I think. Oh, hold on.
I'm trying to find. There's the other one.
Yeah.
So I'm not. It's a good question. Wow, that was it. That was game 3 of their Baron Shadow is eliminated.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Congratulations, Jason. That was a tough competitor you've dispatched.
Interesting that he's leading with his newer deck.
Yeah, his other deck.
He's leading with his newer deck and then following with his.
Do you want to hop into the other one of the other guilds and start taking a look?
Let's take a look.
Yeah,
like maybe let's go and take a look at
qualifier, A or D or C or something. One of the other ones.
Yeah. Let's take a look here.
Incredible game by Jason to come back from that. From being down like that. I mean, there was one point where he was down by 1,000 points on one tower and was able to basically realize that the Inferno Tower was going to stump him and come up with a way to get around the Inferno Tower. The dropping of the Barbarians in front to surround it was awesome.
Yeah,
so good.
I think Jason took full advantage of the fact that he had territory control on the side he was pushing. I was actually wondering why he sent that Giant towards the end that already had the tower down, and usually when you do that you kind of want to place it on the other side of the map so the Giant automatically runs to the left side but tanks both the King Tower and the left side tower. But just a very complex push overall, really great. Having the Inferno Tower placed in the middle, got immediately surrounded by Barbarians, which is the perfect way to take it down. So many interesting things to talk about. I think Baron Shadow did really well in that match too, but Jason was just a little much. We're now into another qualifier group, and we're just going to jump in and see some different names. One of the names that we saw was Fly Society versus Devanch Doshi. And
Fly Society is last week's winner, so I think if you win last week's tournament, you get a feature group play match. I think that seems fair.
Interesting thing about Fly Society was he was mostly a Rocket Cycle player on his first few, when that was very popular. On his first few entrants into the Super Magical Cup, he played Rocket Cycle, switched up to playing Royal Giant style decks, and saw great success with it, especially last week. So, interesting.
The Fire Spirits look really strong on Devanch's side. They're going to be great against the Barbarians and the Minions. And I'm just wondering, like, it almost looks like it stops these pushes, these pushes pretty early on. I mean, it's going to kill the Ice Wizard and stuff, too. So I wonder how well those Fire Spirits are going to do. Barbarians and Cannon and Minions and stuff. There's plenty of good stuff to stop these Royal Giant pushes, so it'll be up to Fly Society to really put together, pretty powerful pushes.
Yeah, let's see. Fly Society versus Devanch. All right, hopping into the in-game screen.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna watch. We'll watch one of his games too in a little bit.
Hog Rider jumping into the left side, an aggressive start, and Fire Spirits to accompany. The arrows is gonna actually eliminate all the Fire Spirits before they can make the jump.
That's 700 plus damage, or 600 plus damage you're stopping right there.
Yep. And as needed, look at that, 1.6k. That was a ton.
Although overall, I think if every single hog push goes that way for Devanch, he's thrilled.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. He's down a little elixir, and the only thing he's scared of is an Ice Wizard alone. And it does a decent amount of damage, but that is not the amount of damage that a Hog Rider can do.
Given that he's a Hog Rider player, I almost wonder if you want to play that Elixir Collector in the middle and forward.
Yeah.
To block for it, because you know that he's not going to play Hog Rider right away. Yeah. You got some time. He's got the cannon though. Fly side. He does a pullover. Great pull.
Nice. Good position.
2-tower range.
But this time, no arrows for the Fire Spirits.
Ooh, and if you noticed, the Fire Spirits blew up on the tower and the Ice Wizard, so it's not even like the Ice Wizard tanked the tower in a meaningful way.
Yeah. The Fire Spirits got the work in.
Thinking about it, he does. Opts to cast it, and the Ice Wizard cleans it up. Little. You know what's funny is if he had done that a little bit earlier, it would have translated to several hundred damage left on the Royal Giant. But I think Fly Society's probably hesitating for that even second or two.
Yeah, I agree.
But the game's about tied now, a little bit in Fly Society's favor because of the Elixir Collectors.
Yep, he's been building up the Elixir Collectors, and he's kind of been sacrificing his tower health for that.
Answering a Collector with a cannon is such a weak play. I mean, it's just the cannon's just timed out. It's already 20% dead. Nothing's happened.
Yeah, I agree. Hog Rider moving across, and again he'll get double elixir or double tower shots onto the Hog Rider. And Fly Society's defense is looking pretty good. He's set up for another Elixir Collector early, unless he wants to try to play the Royal Giant, but I think it's a little too late. I would actually prefer Fly Society to play a final Elixir Collector before he starts doing big pushes right now.
Especially, and he opts to do it. You can see he was holding the Royal Giant as soon as that thing got blown up. I'm surprised he held it as long as he did, because right after the Fireball, I think you can assume you're kind of safe for a little bit. Yeah. And you don't want to waste the time. But then again, this might go deep into overtime.
Yeah. But this is a big Royal Giant in the back is when you know you're really in trouble, because normally people like to play Royal Giant in the front just because they like to get that chipping damage.
I hate the cannon play. He just saw the Royal Giant. Like, I feel like he would be better off playing Barbarians like behind the King Tower and letting them walk up towards the Royal Giant and then saving the cannon reactively. Right. Yeah, like it just seems like he's not getting anything out of playing that cannon up there. It's almost dead, and the Royal Giant's, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't outrange anything.
And he's gonna be exactly.
Like, effectively, not only is Fly Society getting away with the Elixir Collectors, but Devanch is putting himself in an even deeper hole by just throwing Elixir on the ground and not really using it.
Yeah. And things are going to be triple Elixir Collector now set up for Fly Society. And this is why Elixir Collector is such a strong card, because it starts piling up. The more Elixir you get, the more Elixir Collectors you put.
I feel like Devanch isn't being versatile enough with his offense. He's not trying to play Hog Riders back behind the King Tower to build it up or anything. He's just kind of continually doing the same moves. Fly Society's not falling for that anymore.
Yep. Royal Giant chipping damage. Fly Society will be more than happy to have his Royal Giant fall, but take down that much health on the tower. Slowly getting to the point where Fireball and Arrows is actually good enough to take down that tower on the left. Just one more shot from the Royal Giant would be enough, and I don't think there's a great way for Devanch to stop it. The freeze is okay, but the Royal Giant's going to wake up soon.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I mean, the freeze is one of those things where unless you're actually chopping down the thing you've frozen, what's the point?
Yeah.
So he froze the Royal Giant. It did buy some time, but what happened is that he spent 4 elixir, and then 10 seconds later, what are you looking at, right? You're looking at a full health Royal Giant coming down to push you.
Freeze is entirely a combo card. If you don't have the combos for it, it's kind of a wash.
Oh, this would be an interesting one right here. Okay, so this is actually really exciting to watch. Sada Dragon is one of the opponents that I see at the top of the ladder. I'm usually in the top 200. Sada Dragon is far above me. A fixture in the top 50, I believe currently in like the top 20 or something like that if I were to look at the leaderboard right now. So Sada Dragon is playing the most popular deck at the top of the ladder, which is the Trifecta Defense deck. It is Musketeer, Hog Rider, Valkyrie with Elixir Collector, 2 spells, and then some other cheap defensive cycle cards. Very powerful at playing defense behind Elixir Collectors and then using the Hog Rider to really push through for the final kill. What's Dante doing here?
Very interesting. I mean, Dante's running a Royal Giant deck, but he doesn't actually have the Ice Wizard accompanying it. And I think that's actually very rare to see with Royal Giant. The Ice Wizard's slow. Everything about the Ice Wizard just helps the Royal Giant so much. Instead, Dante is going to be using a Princess, which I think is a card that almost justifies itself in like the Ice Wizard, kind of in every situation. You won't feel bad about being like, oh, well, let's throw a Princess in there and see what happens.
She's there as preventative work against minions and stuff. You have her standing behind the Royal Giant. They can't just dump a minion horde as soon as they might want to.
Yep. Interesting that Dante is running Elixir Collector, but is not running Cannon of some sort. Usually when you're playing defensive, you want at least some kind of structure just to draw Building Chasers away, especially with the prominence of double Building Chaser threats. Giant Hog Rider, Royal Giant Hog Rider, you know, Giant Balloon, all these kinds of things. A building is just so much more useful in that sense, but we'll see.
One thing that might be interesting to watch is whether or not Sada Dragon uses poison on Dante's Elixir Collectors to prevent him from ever getting really built up with a lot of Elixir.
That's true. Let's go ahead and take a look. Sada Dragon, a player with a lot of ranking behind his name.
Yeah, top 20 in the world. Let's see if he can hang it in the quality level of the Super Magical Cup.
Absolutely.
Dante's a new name. I feel like I've seen Dante in group matches in the past, but it's not top 8 before.
Yeah, I think you're right. Skeletons against the Princess. That's as good as you can get it. I like how he positioned it so that it didn't knock the Princess and get the Skeleton skill in.
So here's the kind of the trifecta we're seeing right here. These 3 cards all together, incredibly hard to deal with. Like, it's just hard to stop these pushes. The zap there takes out the goblins.
Look at that.
Look at that. Hog Rider's just chopping it up.
Oh my goodness.
3 barbarians are enough to do some damage to the tower, but it's not. It may just let it happen. I mean, it's only going to be 1 barbarian taking a few swings. That's great by Sada Dragon. It only took two swings of a single barbarian.
That's a great trade, and now he's cycled up to his collector and his poison. He has a lot of space to play with. He can let Dante make the first play. Trade with the collector.
They both decide to collect. They place it in the middle.
He could poison.
Middle is great defense against miners. Actually, he set it up so that he can poison that Elixir Collector really well if he wants to.
I think he's maybe waiting for other cards.
He opts to do it.
Nice.
It's a good way to pass. I'm surprised that he did it, though, right as the Royal Giant happened. Maybe they were cast at the same time.
Yeah.
You see how much that cannon's able to hold off for a little bit, but it's just not enough. I mean, the minions are chewing up the cannon and the Elixir, or the
I mean,
Valkyrie.
it's a pretty... I think Sada Dragon, in doing that, I think he realized that the Royal Giant was going to do damage, and I think he just did that just for an economic defense. Because he committed that poison right as the push came through, he knew that, well... if I overcommit, I'm putting myself deeper into trouble.
But look at that now. Now he has 2 collectors out in a position that Dante can really never have. Dante played his collector, got chewed up by the poison, and now they're in a position where Sada Dragon can always have multiple collectors out, whereas Dante never can. And if you notice, Dante's in a position now, because it doesn't have that elixir from the future, that he couldn't just play the Royal Giant to follow up on the poison like happened last time.
Everything is a chain of events. Everything happens for a reason, and Sada Dragon has set himself up on multiple occasions, kind of winning the battle that isn't even seen. Set himself up this game.
You can see that because right there, when he did finally play the Royal Giant, there wasn't enough supporting units to it, and Sada Dragon had defense going.
Oh my god, and this is a poison that is really, really good.
Between the damage on the tower, killing the Princess, even just slowing the Valkyrie attacks, a very underrated part of Princess is it slows the attack speed of things in poison. That includes the tower and the Valkyrie.
Yep.
This is a pretty strong counter push, though. I could definitely see Dante taking a tower with it.
And I don't think he has Fireball. He does have Poison, which is great on defense, too. I mean,
he's trying to cycle back to it.
He's got it in hand. So many structures, and Sada Dragon, I think, is committing to the philosophy of, hey, I've already got the tower down. I'm going to use even Elixir inefficient defense, just as long as I make sure my tower doesn't fall. And this is the trademark of a player at the top of ladders. You take no risks. You take 0.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to put yourself in a vulnerable position. I even liked that Sada took the measured attacks when he could, which was when he dropped the Elixir, when Dante dropped the Elixir Collector in the middle, instantly, without thinking about it, here comes Hog Rider Musketeer.
Yep. I mean,
keep the pressure on when you can.
Sada Dragon just has a great grasp on the playing field and knows exactly what he wants to do. It seems like he has a very, very solid game plan set up for himself. So,
awesome. Let's see if we can get some other excellent games here. I believe this is game 3 of Clark Kent and Achan. So that means Achan took a game earlier from Clark Kent. Clark Kent took a game as well. They both should be on their alternate decks because if they each both won a game, then that's what we're at.
So let's take a look. Clark Kent is running an Ice Wizard Miner combination without the Princess, and we talked about this just a little bit. Miner in general, I think, is a very solid card comboed with Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Ice Wizard plus Cannon is just such good defense. You can't really go without it, I think. I mean, if you have it and you want to run defense in that manner, 3 costs and 3 costs is really, it can take a lot.
Yeah, I like decks like this because they just seem very, not a lot of gimmicks going on. We're just going to see, especially Achan's deck is just very like solid Clash Royale. Like I can see, I mean, Knight plus Archers is the oldest push in the book, buddy. That is training camp level pushes, but I like it. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get this game going.
Let's go. All right.
I believe this is in round 3 of group play. We do about 4 rounds or 5 rounds of group play, and then and then we go to the top 8.
Yep. Clark Kent. Let's see what he opts to start with. Musketeer.
Both safe, playing ranged attackers behind the King Tower. Maybe they can put tanks in front of it if they really need to. I think you might be better off dropping that Knight in front of the Musketeer when it comes over. Ooh, that Knight's kind of getting surrounded. Musketeer's not getting shot by the tower as the Knight approaches it, and then the Miner. Oh, I like the Fire Spirits there. Achan played Fire Spirits on defense. It just blew up on the Miner right away, and for the most part didn't take too much damage.
Yeah, I think Fire Spirits are underutilized in that manner. For sure. Goblins against the Barbarians are going to be more than good enough. Ice Wizard, Goblin, 5 costs for Barbarians is not the worst in the world.
About even on Elixir. Looks like Achan might be 1 or 2 behind. Drop the Knight. Ooh, good poison. Nice. I really like the poison there because not only does it clear out a lot of the stuff in front, but it slows down the attack and lets the Musketeer get another shot or 2 in, which is pretty
Forces Achan to play the Knight, and the poison is doing damage to the tower anyways. Small victories. Cannon is ready for the Hog. That's going to pull for double tower shots.
And it does pull the Ice Wizard. Very nice. The Mini P.E.K.K.A. unfortunately took all the Fire Spirit damage, which I assume was on purpose. But, you know, Mini P.E.K.K.A. already doesn't have a lot of hit points, so...
Yeah. It's not Clark Kent's moment. I think momentum is not on his side. I think he recognizes that, so he's just biding his time, maybe cycling for another poison-type push. And
this is the downside of not having Collector or Goblin Hut or any sort of way to really invest Elixir in the future. Is when you're starting to hit 10, what are your options? You just gotta start casting stuff and making something happen. I like the ability with those cards to be like, you know what, pass.
Yeah.
Your turn to make a move, and I'll respond to it.
Yep. This is a big push coming from Clark Kent. Miner makes its way to the back, but the Knight will counter it handily.
Love the preemptive defense from Achan. He knew what was coming, and instead of really like falling into it, just threw the Barbarians up front to intercept the Musketeer and the Spear Goblins. Had a Knight in the back.
I think both these players are playing very intricate offense and defense right now. I really like the way they're shaping up.
There's a lot of mind games. Like they're definitely trying to. Look at that, Knight Archers, oldest trick in the book. Nobody's got an answer for it.
Nice.
Except Barbarians.
Barbarians in the middle. We'll clean that up very handily, and that's going to be a good defense for Clark Kent. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Barbarians actually walk across the river, and this could get really bad for Achan. Miner, and the Goblins actually get taken down.
Archers actually aren't in poison range either. They might not die to the poison.
And I mean, this is really tough because Ice Wizard plus the poison on top of that make things do like move at negative speed.
Big downside about poison compared to Fireball there is you saw those Archers, even when they were caught in poison, still were able to go and kill the Ice Wizard and start walking back a little bit.
The effect is not instantaneous.
I mean, poison has a lot of advantages to it, but there is nothing like killing something now.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Great body blocking there.
Nice.
And it dodged the Fireball. The Fireball actually came and hit the tower, but not the Barbarians who were cast right after.
Yep.
Such a close game, although Clark Kent, 500 hit points for being eliminated from this tournament.
Yeah, it's really tough because I feel like Clark Kent's deck is much more one-shot. He's got the Mini P.E.K.K.A., he's got the melee Goblins, and so tower health is an indicating factor, but it might, at any point, if Clark Kent can penetrate Achan's defense, he could close out a tower in one go. Meanwhile,
Cannon doing great work for both players.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. walking across the right side, gets drawn away by the cannon.
Cannon on Clark Kent's side is going to pull those.
That Miner is doing so much damage, actually. It's
wow,
going to
get
into
ignored.
Poison range soon.
Oh, but there's a Fireball. It's not just one more Fireball, but one Fireball and like any other damage. There's poison on Clark Kent's side that really poison plus any amount of Musketeer damage or anything will do it.
We'll see the Miner. He needs to spend a lot of Elixir to block this. Oh no! The zap.
Oh,
okay.
86 left.
Cycle
So the next
to one more
poison will do it.
Yep.
It's
But the
fireball.
the cycle on the fireball could do it
It's got,
too.
it can't just be a fireball. It's got to be a fireball on like any other thing.
Yeah,
Even
he
if
needs
it's
to play.
just
Here
a
comes the Hog Rider. He should fireball.
Oh, the cannon
okay,
takes it, and it misses the cannon, which could have been useful because if you
Oh,
would have hit the
goodness.
cannon, maybe
Yep.
he could have kept riding.
Yep.
And that's it. Looks like the poison's gonna take it out on Clark Kent's side.
It was actually super smart for Clark Kent because standard positioning for the cannon is actually you can place it a little farther down, and that is usually because as the Hog Rider is coming in, you want to make sure that you get the timing right. If you play it up too far forward and the Hog Rider has made it too far down, it actually ignores your cannon.
Yeah.
And so playing it down a little bit would have been a little preferable, but Clark Kent played it up front high enough that it would dodge the fireball. In the case that Achan had placed a fireball at the corner of the tower, such that in case the cannon was placed in a standard middle position, it would have hit the cannon. But instead, the cannon was out of the way.
Great job. Great job. That's the championship level defense.
Yep.
That lets you pull out those games that are 50 points apart.
Yeah, very, very close. Ooh, interesting. Oh my goodness.
Oh, buddy, you want to watch this one?
Yeah, let's try it.
Let's do it. We got a live spectate right now.
I don't know
Fly
how far into the
Society.
game.
Santa
Oh my
Dragon.
God! It's so far into the game. It lies
It
to
said,
us.
yeah, the live spectating is saying there's only maybe it's 20 seconds left. No, it's definitely doesn't do that.
I'm not sure.
Let's try to catch into this game. This is Santa Dragon Fly Society, last week's winner against a top 20 ladder player.
Santa Dragon, actually, interestingly enough, Santa Dragon opted to use the fireball on the backline rather on the barbarians. And it seems to have worked out for him. I think that defense went quite well. Interesting why that Elixir Collector is so much to the left from
I didn't know that Santa Dragon's playing Lava Hound Balloon. Look at that. The Lava Hound Balloon deck that we haven't actually quite seen. Obviously we didn't see it in this match. We didn't see it in Santa Dragon's earlier game.
Nice. Really important defense by Santa Dragon there. Opted to lose maybe a pump on the Elixir Collector just to make sure the Royal Giant didn't get any hits onto the tower.
Tell me if you notice a pattern in high-level Clash Royale play. Both players have 2 collectors out.
Yep. They're really valuing getting that macro going.
And you know what? With the fireball out of the hand, and there's probably still at least 2 fireballs to go, this Lava Hound push might be good enough.
Yep. We'll see. It's a race.
There's the cannon. Okay, whoa.
It's a race. We're in overtime.
And there's the mini P.E.K.K.A to help chop it up. And there goes the balloon. I think the balloon.
Oh, Fly Society!
The tower's attacking the balloon, though, not the Lava Hound, which is actually what
the fireball.
Oh, the fireball takes it out.
Fly Society is good, man.
Woo. Man, Santa Dragon put up a fight there, though. They were deep into overtime at that point. I believe that was game 1 of their series.
Yeah, I almost want to see the rest of their series play out, just because I feel like this is a very high-stakes match. Fly Society, the previous tournament winner, against
and that was game 1 of their series.
That was game 1. So let's catch their next match as we can.
Actually, we got Clark Kent too. Want to watch that one? It just started theoretically.
There's too many good games. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it.
Oh, we got a minute into this game. So yeah, the live spectating, we got to take that thing with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But here we are. Clark Kent Ghost Rare is the other match in the series. So Fly Society Santa Dragon. Fly Society's up 1-0. Clark Kent is up 1-0 over Ghost Rare. This is game 2 of their series, and the winner of each of these matches will make the top 8. So Fly Society or Santa Dragon, one will make the top 8. Clark Kent or Ghost Rare will make the top 8, putting them into points. Clark Kent really needs these points if he's going to pass Woody on the leaderboard.
Yeah. It's
and about a tie game with 90 seconds to go.
Yep. Clark Kent defending.
Wow, Clark Kent has a huge elixir advantage right now, though. If you notice, he's several elixir up.
Yeah, he's about 2 and a bit, three elixir up. He's going to spend that on a musketeer. And we'll see what else follows.
The Ghost Rare between the Hog Rider and the Royal Giant, which, by the way, is the kind of deck that Fly Society won last week with.
Yeah.
We know it can generate pushes out of nowhere and really pull this off. I love the minor poison.
Oh, the cannon is not in range.
But what's going to stop this Hog Rider over on...
Mini P.E.K.K.A. A second swing. Oh my God, that's so
Mini
much damage. And
Mini P.E.K.K.A. I wrote an article about it on Reddit this week. That is the card that you should probably be playing in your deck.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not paying attention, that's the card you probably want to
no
play.
zap to assist the Mini P.E.K.K.A. If there was a zap, that
would have taken the tower.
Yep.
The difference between that tower going down and not as having a zap in your deck.
Yep.
Oh no, the cannon was a bad play by Ghost Rare because the Musketeer can outrange it.
Yep. But the Minion Horde will clean it up. Miner.
That.
What's the poison? One more swing.
Oh no. Will the poison
Is
take
it done?
Oh, fine, it does! Clark Kent takes a tower with 20 seconds left. That means it's really all in right now on this push. I really like the positioning, actually. The Mini P.E.K.K.A. plus the...
One more shot?
Oh, it's just short, but we do have another Fireball. I don't think Fireball's going to be enough to do it. I think
he
he needs
to
Fireball
cycle.
and Zap.
Yep. He needs to, I would almost sacrifice health on your key tower just to Fireball and Zap.
Yeah, just let it go.
Throw it.
Fireball. Where's the Fireball?
Throw it. He has one more second. Do it. Do it. No.
Oh, and it's a second late to put it into overtime. Great play, though, by Clark Kent pushing on the other tower to try to get ahead if they did have to go into overtime.
Yeah.
So Clark Kent takes the series 2-0, and I believe is the first person that we can say is making the top 8.
Clark Kent back again. Clark Kent's back.
Incredible play.
Ah, man. Super important. Tower health is your resource. You must spend it. I feel like Glokesrare needed to spend his King Tower health just to make sure he extended his life in the game. But
and we always talk about card levels mattering. This is game 2 of Fly Society Sada Dragon. If Fly Society wins, makes it to the top 8, along with Clark Kent, 2 regulars. If Sada Dragon wins, that will push it to a game 3.
Oh no, good push by Sada Dragon to trifecta.
Wow, and you know, that's a Musketeer that survived the Fireball. We talk about card levels mattering. Card levels matter so much. That Musketeer, if it was 1 level lower, would have died to the Fireball. Because it survives, of course, we're at tournament caps. Everything's kosher there. It allowed that Musketeer to do another, 20 shots on the counter push?
Incredible amounts of damage, both protecting the Hog Rider in the sense that it's killing the defensive cards, and then also ensuring that you get more damage on the tower. And look at that, 2k health on the King Tower. That is a huge push by Sada Dragon.
Yes, that is. I mean, actually, Sada Dragon might just 3-crown this.
Yeah.
Notice that Sada Dragon has 2 collectors up, and Fly Society has none. I don't know what changed from the last game. Oh, actually, I see it. Fly Society's playing his deck without Elixir Collector.
Yeah.
So, in the game that Fly Society won, he was winning the Elixir War.
Double Musketeer Fireball, and the Musketeer survives, and the Valkyrie is very tanky. And the poison on top of it. This might be a 3-crown. Oh my god, Sada Dragon.
A little late, and unfortunately those Spear Goblins aren't going to do much. Oh, actually, the push here might help him.
Now, there's a very interesting thing when you're threatening 3-crown against a player. Sometimes it's even, in this situation, Sada Dragon might even be okay sacrificing his whole tower on the right side. And then you're in a bad position because
whole trifecta is coming down.
The territory advantage for Sada Dragon allows him to play aggressively very quickly.
And with that poison, I don't think you can stop it. I mean, stop a Valkyrie and Musketeer and stuff with the poison around. 3-crown for Sada Dragon. So we go to a game 3 between last week's winner and a tournament leaderboard topper. I want to see where Sada Dragon is right now as we get ready for game 3. We're going to live spectate their game 3 from the moment that it comes up, so we don't have to have any sort of delay. And then we'll close the raffle after that game.
Actually, I don't think, did we open the next raffle?
I'm not sure.
Let's see.
Looking up Sada Dragon right now.
I'll open the next raffle. I'll just reset the raffle and open it again.
Let's make sure we catch the game live. Sada Dragon is currently 42 with 47-37 trophies.
And it's interesting because when you look at his cards that he's playing, they're actually level 9 commons and level 7 rares. Interestingly enough, when we look, I don't know if this deck preview scales to what you have.
No, I mean, no, it shows you the tournament cap. It always
it always shows. So if it's lower, then it'll show lower. But if it's higher,
he's at max level. I'm looking at stuff.
Thank God, because I was about to say that is probably the first player I've seen to actually have tournament level caps and be at like the. I don't even know if that's possible, but that is
yeah.
That is a thing.
The only thing I'm looking at right now, he's actually playing his current deck on the leaderboard in the app is the Lava Hound Balloon deck that he's playing in this tournament. So we are seeing one of the lava decks. Here we go.
So let's go ahead and jump into this match in game, and after this match, I'll open the next raffle.
Absolutely.
For you guys.
And we can start seeing. We'll go back to the bracket and start to see how the top 8 is shaping up. Normally, we should be moving to the top 8 very, very soon. All the matches are wrapping up now. So they both open up with mini P.E.K.K.A.s.
Interesting. Elixir Collector, but Fly Society won with this, so he's stuck with his deck without the Elixir Collector now.
I actually think one of them leaked Elixir and the other didn't because they're off. They're off by 1. I'm having a hard time counting it. Either way, though. So the mini P.E.K.K.A.s duel each other. And I mean, we got to call advantage Sada Dragon right now by having the Elixir Collector out.
Yeah.
When Fly Society has a deck without one.
If no significant damage is made to this push, then that means Sada Dragon is going to get away with a second Elixir Collector, and that's when you really get to snowball. You're going to constantly have 2 Elixir Collectors up and put yourself in a good game state.
Hands down, the strongest aspect of Elixir Collector is that if you don't play Elixir Collector, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you really need to have a plan for when your opponent drops an Elixir Collector, because you can't let them get away with it.
Yeah,
like
look at the board right now.
Yeah, Sada Dragon is going to get away with this for the rest of the game, because even that slow Royal Giant push, Fly Society's committed to be like, all right, look, I guess I'm just gonna have to win like a big crash battle.
Yeah.
But who has the advantage in a big crash battle? The one with the 2 Elixir Collectors.
Yep. Cannon. Ooh, the cannon actually placed early.
Yeah, kind of bad placement there actually, because the tower's not attacking.
Yeah, but the mini P.E.K.K.A. is gonna chew through the Royal Giant anyways, and that's why mini P.E.K.K.A. cannon is a great defense against Royal Giant almost every single time.
A good fireball there by Fly Society to break up the Elixir Collector chain. Obviously, Sad Dragon got another one back down, but I think Flysidey can use fireballs to keep from getting too far behind.
Yeah, yeah. Still, Elixir that he would have liked to play in a different situation.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. And you much rather would fireball barbarians that are going to surround your thing.
Yeah.
Here comes the Lava Hound. And that's a good point, though. Sad Dragon, while we've been talking about the defense and getting away with Elixir Collectors, it only really matters if you're translating it into tower damage and wins. And as you can see, despite having all this extra Elixir, nothing's really happened to Flysidey's side of the board.
But this might be the result of that.
Balloon was too early.
Oh no, the Lava Hound gets distracted. And this might be a situation, though, where Sad Dragon might be able to cycle to something else useful to assist us. Because look at how that Lava Hound is not even close to getting wrecked.
Very underrated part of countering Lava Hounds is Cannon's actually a really good counter. Pulls it to the middle, both things attack it. That Hog Rider, though, is going to maybe take that tower down.
Minions tagged onto the Hog Rider is going to be able to kill it before it does too much damage.
2 Lava Hounds still alive. Look, it's funny, the Ice Wizard doesn't really do any damage.
Yep.
So the Ice Wizard, even though they've been attacking forever, is not actually killing anything.
Oh, and now the pucks are out, and the tower is tagged onto that Lava Hound. Oh my god, look at the... Oh my god, there's another Lava Hound.
I play Lava Hound. I've never been able to pull this off. This is an incredible play.
Oh my god.
And the Zap takes out somebody.
Say the Dragon, stop. The 3 crown. We're going to see another 3 crown soon. Oh my god.
Sad Dragon advances to the top 8. Down a game, wins 2 in a row against Fly Society's alternate deck. Honestly, on the strength of Elixir Collector. I think that was a clinic to how decks without Elixir Collector have a really hard time dealing with Elixir Collector decks, especially if the Elixir Collector deck is like the Lava Hound deck, very defensive, intending on playing defense and then just winning with one big kind of push.
Yeah, and the ending situation for Sad Dragon there was that he was in 2 times Elixir with 1 Elixir Collector down, and that was good enough for him. The idea is that he was able to punish and have the Elixir pumps enough to defend the Fly Society's early pushes and get himself into a situation where he can play a Lava Hound and a Balloon and then force cards to be committed to the Balloon and cycle all the way again to another Lava Hound, and then the snowball effect happened. Another Lava Hound, another Lava Hound.
Yeah, having 2 Lava Hounds at once is incredible. So let's look at the top 8. We're starting to clear it up. Clark Kent is actually, you can't see it, it's kind of off the screen, but Clark Kent does win to advance. We watched that game 2-0 over Ghost Rare. Sad Dragon in an incredible matchup in the wild card round here over Fly Society. So Fly Society, who won last week's tournament,
no more points for you,
will not top 8, which means that we will not have a back-to-back. We've never had a back-to-back winner. We've never even had a repeat winner. Moving up, Manufan continues the dominance. I believe 2-0 to everyone along the way, marching right back into the top 8.
I'm interested to see what both of his decks are.
Oh, that's a very good point. I haven't seen Manufan last week.
Great decks.
Malcade, a former top 4 competitor, someone who is on the top leaderboard, makes the top 8 again. Another good chance for points. Patuti, we watched Patuti's chain for a little bit, loses 2-0 to XYCYZ, being the top 8. And Justin, wow, we missed. We left the after. Justin, who makes the top 8, defeats Jason the Giant of the Helsinki tournament to advance. So Jason,
where will Justin
great run. Yeah, let's see how maybe Justin is going to be our new winner. And the only 2 matches left are Alpha Kevin and Chief Lord and Izieth and Ideo in Group A. Should we join Group A? And open the raffle and all that stuff?
Let's go ahead, join Group A. We'll open the raffle. So here we go. Let me go ahead and leave.
You can watch those last 2 people make the top 8.
Why is it doing that? Qualifier A.
Yeah, you got 2 L's in qualifier.
I know how to spell. Why? Are you not typing?
Oh, there it is.
What the heck? Okay.
Whew. Let's see if we can catch these last few games.
All right, so opening up the raffle, reset raffle close. The next raffle question is, let's do this question here. What is your playstyle? We've had this question before. What is your playstyle? Beatdown, control, or siege? It's a very, very simple question. What is your playstyle? Beatdown, control, or siege? Exclamation mark, raffle, space, answer the question. And I believe the raffle is indeed open now. Exclamation mark, raffle, space. What is your playstyle? Beatdown, control, or siege? And let us know what you play alongside that.
And these are terms that I coined to talk about the 3 kind of styles of decks in Clash Royale. Beatdown decks are decks that come over to the other side of the board and knock your opponent's towers down. That's probably the most common, straightforward version. Control decks sit back, play really defensively, and then try to win with 1 big combo or one big push. These would be something like the Lava Hound deck that we just saw Sada Dragon win with. Very defensive Elixir Collector base, and then just wins on one big push. And Siege decks, which have been kind of unpopular recently. Siege decks are decks that win entirely from their side of the board. They use, rockets, spawners, mortars, those kind of decks. Haven't been so popular recently, but that is definitely... It used to be the most popular version of in Clash Royale. I'd say Siege decks were the best thing in both the ladder and tournaments for the first 2 to 3 months of the game's life, and only recently have we seen a resurgence of beatdown decks.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've made our way into here, and
Izeth and Ido, I believe, is one.
I'm inclined
not
watch
game one. Yeah, you watch game one of their series.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look here. So. Match preview for Izeth and Ado, 2 names that I haven't seen before.
Me either. One of these 2 will be in the top 8, and they will be their first top 8 ever.
Yeah. So let's take a look at Ado's deck. Hog Rider, Inferno Tower. Inferno Tower, great against Royal Giant. Really good kind of in the meta when people are playing Giant decks or Royal Giant decks. It's just a solid defensive structure to have. He's got Hog Rider Goblin for some big damage. Princess is always a great card, and he's got the bait inherently set up with the Minion Horde. So, and funnily enough, I think Arrows actually was a card that was very popular previous to this patch. I mean, it was a very, very popular spell, but now people, I think, are running more Fireball Zap kind of things.
Yeah. Having the Arrows and Zap against a deck that has Minion Horde, Goblins, and Princess is going to go really well for Izeth. But on the other hand, Ido having Inferno Tower against Royal Giant could be game-changing. Nothing in Izeth's deck is normally what you would use to stop Inferno Tower, like Barbarians, things like that in front. So
yeah. So we'll see. Let's see how this match plays out. All right. Let's watch it. Oops. Okay.
Izeth is running a very traditional Royal Giant deck. When Royal Giant first got buffed and people were kind of rushing to their cards and figuring out what to use, at the time, Princess and Ice Wizard are super popular. People just sort of put decks in with both of those legendaries and Royal Giant. It worked really well, but that's kind of what Izeth is playing here. Royal Giant decks have been interesting. They've really evolved in the ladder to be very one-upsy over each other. It used to be like, I'm going to run Barbarians to beat the other ones. Then people started going, I'm going to run Fireball to beat the Barbarians. Other people play it. Then other people go, I'm going to run Mini P.E.K.K.A to trump the Fireball.
Yeah. It was definitely a weapons race. Ice Wizard, nice. Does really well against
that zap there. That zap on the Goblins is huge. That translated into hundreds and hundreds of damage.
Yeah, and it was a good defense. I feel like Ado's push was worth so much damage, but Izeth really did a good job of stemming the...
Smart move there. Arrows takes 2 pumps off the Collector, hits the Princess for 3. That's effectively, you already got your value right there, and chipping in a little bit of extra damage onto the weak tower is strong.
Yeah, and you can notice that ideally he would have liked that double Elixir Collector situation, but...
So it's actually bummer for Izeth because he wants to play his Elixir Collector but can't really do it in the situation. You can see him thinking about it, trying to play inside. You want to get it down, but because Ido had played his a little earlier, wow, that Fireball didn't hit the Ice Wizard. That would have hit the Ice Wizard. That would have been the actual best.
That actually might come around to hurt Ado in just a bit. If he saves his Elixir and plays like a Royal Giant Minion combination even, I think that might spell a lot of trouble for Ado.
Princesses are gonna shoot. Okay, at least Izeth's Princess will win the Princess duel. I mean, he'll lose the tower,
but this could be a big push.
Oh, there's that Inferno Tower just stifles the push right in its path.
Oh goodness.
And there's nothing to zap too. Like theoretically, you could zap that and have it retarget, but there was nothing around it to retarget. There wasn't any goblins or anything.
It was gonna laser down the Royal Giant regardless of what Ado did with his cards in hand.
Once again, Izeth gets punished, plays another Elixir Collector, and immediately gets hog ridden.
And a great Fireball.
And that one was much better aimed.
Yep, that was a great Fireball. Interesting that he plays the Goblins like that. Maybe he's trying to read the Inferno Tower.
He's trying to play the Inferno Tower up first, but they were too far apart.
Yeah, but when you have Zap in hand, you don't need to take those risks.
I didn't even like that Arrows. I think that Arrows could have hit the Inferno Tower as well. Any amount of damage on the Inferno Tower is good because obviously it ramps up so quickly at the end.
Yeah, I think Izeth is having a lot of trouble making things come together, and I like this a little bit more. He could play the Inferno Tower now.
Princess is already there. It's like you sort of, it's actually interesting. Ido's defense is so multifaceted. You have to have the Princess dead or arrows ready for the Princess in order to play the Goblins so that you can get them in front of the Inferno Tower.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's enough time for Izeth to make this happen, and you're absolutely right. The combo defense is you really need to make sure you're accounting for all the situations possible. And I think that last
It's just hard to have that. It's hard to have supporting fire and a 6 elixir Royal Giant and the 2 spells you need in order to overcome their multivariable defense.
Yeah, and I think Izeth's last push actually did really well. His Royal Giant tagged on a lot of damage, and really it comes to, I think, you just need to understand your opponent's card cycle really well, and then just go for one opening and try to blow it wide open as much as you can, and be okay with whatever damage comes after that, and just repeatedly do that.
Well, Izeth actually, let's see, look at that game. We have Alpha Kevin and Chief Lord also playing. I want to make sure we get some of their matches in. Looks like they just, let's see if this game has just started. No, it's
definitely not.
Okay, let's get back in. Well, let's watch Game 3 of Izeth versus Ido. The winner of this is going to end up going to the top 8.
Yeah.
And then we can catch Game 3, I guess, of the Alpha Kevin Chief Lord one.
Yeah.
Right after.
Yeah. So I think deck for Izeth is the same, and Ado had to change.
Yes.
Change up to Hog Rider, Mini P.E.K.K.A, and kind of cycle. Fireball Zap.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty standard.
Let's see. Ooh. Let's get right into it. So yeah, Ido had to switch his deck. Izeth playing the same. I believe this is Game 3 of their series.
Yep. Yeah, I think so too. Let's go ahead and jump in game there.
Oh wait, I jumped to Game 3, I think actually. Wait, Izeth must have changed his deck unless he's playing the same. Hold on. If Izeth lost.
Yeah, so he
stayed. Won game.
Ado is playing the new deck, his Hog Cycle now.
Okay.
Yeah, because Ado won last.
Also, Izeth must have won. Wait, hold on. But if they're in Game 3, Izeth won one of his games.
Yeah.
With this deck.
No. His first game, I'll show you the records. It was really interesting. I wish we had seen it because his first deck had a Sparky in it.
Oh, that's right. I skipped over that game. So Izeth switched in Game 2 to his Sparky deck and won with the Sparky deck, so then he immediately had to go back to his original deck. You're right. Good call. Yeah. We did look that up. We were looking at the match previews.
Yeah.
So Izeth smart putting the Elixir Collector in the middle outside of making it hard for miners to get to and hopefully a distraction for Hog Riders.
Wizard.
Wow, Izeth has a ton of Elixir to fight this off with, though, even though it's a big push coming at him.
Yep. Zap is not going to be good enough, man. The minions. Oh,
yeah,
goodness.
those minions did a ton.
Yeah.
The princess wasn't locked onto him either.
Yep. This is interesting, though. Only 4 Elixir. He doesn't have enough for the... Oh, and the timing is not good. Uh-oh. Okay, Stabby Goblins.
The Stabby Goblins, I believe, actually moved the Royal Giant, which made it retarget onto the cannon.
I like that execution from Ado. Yeah.
Good micro. So Izeth's probably going to try to get another Elixir Collector out. And will Ido immediately punish him when he does? A huge advantage in Elixir for Izeth. He's up by 5. So can he parlay that? I mean, can he parlay that into an actual win?
P.E.K.K.A. Chew through that Elixir Collector immediately. But then again, led the charge, so it was evaporated immediately after. That
zap was a little greedy. I don't think you even needed the zap. You could have that extra 2 Elixir and continue to push this huge advantage.
So slow.
Ice Wizards are grindy. It's the grindiest. You're so little damage. You do like 40 damage.
Yeah. Nice Fireball. I actually like that.
A little late on that Elixir Collector. I mean, even though he did get it off, there's like 50 seconds left in the game, but I feel like he has a much higher risk of losing this tower than getting the full amount of that Elixir.
Absolutely. The Hog Jump was good, and 85 within spell
You're leaking
range.
Elixir, buddy. Yeah, come on.
Within spell range. Now, this is a solid defense.
Yeah, that Royal Giant's going nowhere, even if he casts Ice Wizard and minion stuff right now. I think Izeth needs to just commit more to these pushes. Like, he's being very kind of timid. When you get an opening and you think you can win that battle, you need to throw everything behind that Royal Giant, because if you end up having the last man standing, you win, right? You take the whole tower down.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just sitting here with 5 Elixir most of the time, being like, oh, maybe I'll play, maybe this.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, no. Firewall again. Ado secured a spot, I think.
Yeah, Ido's moving to the top
8.
Top 8. Alpha Kevin and Chief Lord playing their last game right now. I guess we won't put it in the lobby overlay. But here they have, let's just go right back into it. They're 34, wow, okay, so this is the very end. This will decide it right here. It looks like Chief Lord is running away with it.
Oh no, the Inferno Tower plays really weird. It's only going to tag onto the Goblins, and I think Chief Lord is really mopping the floor. Trifecta again.
Something happened, with Alpha Kevin. I don't know. Something happened earlier in this game that we didn't see. And then
I feel like Trifecta
caught him in this bad
For me
yeah,
right now,
yeah.
Trifecta Poison is the deck to watch right now.
Oh, it's easily the most popular deck on the top of the ladder. I mean, like, I think at one point the top, like, 5 people on the ladder were all playing Trifecta Poison. It's super strong.
Goodness.
Poison is, it's like a fireball. It's like a freeze. It does a whole lot of stuff. So cool. I think we have our top 8 now. Do you want to close the raffle and then move on to that?
Yes.
I'll start. Oh, so we only have one mouse. Here, yeah, go ahead and do the raffle.
Cool. Let's see here. All right.
Get right into the top 8 play after.
So the question is, what is your playstyle? Beatdown, control, or siege? And we will close out the raffle here and start drawing the winners. So the first winner is Alonso23 OP, and he says control, love to do big pushes and 3 crown.
Very nice.
Very good. I agree with you. 3 crowns.
I definitely like that. If you have any wacky idea for a deck, you can normally see that come to life with like Elixir Collector, Cannon, Arrows, Skeletons, and then like those 2 cards you're thinking about, and then like 2 more defensive cards to complement it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god, what is it? What?
The dude needs it.
Why? Why does this happen? Seda Dragon is our next winner, and he says control deck.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's raffling while watching. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
he's just
Sada
beating
Dragon,
people and then also just listening to
he
them.
definitely needs the $10 a gem.
Oh my god, control deck because it provides a challenge and can be great when used well.
I definitely like that control decks let you outplay people, let you, you know.
Control decks is always about keeping the game situation in your mind at all times, knowing what your opponent does for offense and reacting appropriately. That's the basis of control deck, the idea of it. I mean, sometimes beatdown can just be hog wild, if you will. You kind of just, it doesn't really matter what the opponent has. The bottom line is, as a beatdown, I need to push across the river and I need to be doing damage all the time. So
yeah, I mean, if you make good decisions in this game, you want to play decks that give you as many decisions as possible.
Yeah.
Because if you think you're going to make a better decision than them every time, then you want to do that 100 times, not 20 times.
Exactly. Congratulations, Sada Dragon. I hope you're happy. I hope you feel good.
Yeah. Spend it on something nice. Don't spend it all on one ladder.
This guy wins so many giveaways. Anando the best.
Anando the best. Hey, well, that's loyal viewers get rewarded.
He's won giveaways so many times that I remember his name.
Yeah, he's won. I think it's his 3rd giveaway win.
He says, I defend with Witch and Musketeer and counterattack. So that's control.
Sounds like control deck to me.
Yep. Witch is growing in popularity, which I think is great. It's kind of an underused card in my mind. So great. Thank you so much, you 3, for your raffle answers. Sent the message to you on your Twitch inbox. If it's not there, make sure you check the others tab.
Oh, actually, how about this? Let's redraw. Let's draw one more.
Where
Sada's passing. Sada Dragon is being a man of the people. He's passing on his raffle win.
Hold on.
It's right there.
Is he talking about this?
Oh,
Hold on.
I'm not sure. We'll sort this out.
We'll let our admins figure that out. Oh my god.
We might do another drawing later, though. We'll see. If Sada Dragon is really pushing it back, let's do another one.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm sorry, we got a message.
For our last one, we'll do 4 for our last.
We'll do 4 for the last one just in case. All right, how about that?
We'll do 4 for the last one. All right. Goodness. What is even happening anymore?
That's a good point. I don't know how they get so lucky because there's like 100+ entries.
I know.
It's just been on pure odds.
Jeez. Okay, so
leave the qualifier.
Let's leave this.
We'll hop into the top 8.
Oh no, that's not the.
I'm really excited about this top 8. Do we have the? Let's see if we have a bracket to show.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look here. See if it's set.
Yes. All right, let's pull it up.
There we go. Your top 8, the points winners.
So as usual, we definitely have some repeat players. We've got Manufan, Clark Kent, and Malcade, all of whom have top 4'd before. Clark Kent and Manufan have both won in the past. So 3 of the top 8 are repeat showers. That's awesome. Always glad to see them. Sada Dragon, a top 50, a regular in the top 50 on the leaderboard, has also proven that game can't be that pay to win because even when the levels are evened out, Sada Dragon is still a force to be reckoned with. And 4 new faces: Ido, Justin who knocked out Jason the Giant, Alpha Kevin, and XYX CX Man.
CXYZ.
XY crazy. I don't know.
Let's call him Zigzag.
Zigzag. This is easy to. Yeah.
Do we want to live spectate this? I mean, I don't think
Let's try
we
it. Let's
have
do it.
yeah,
Why not?
Let's go ahead.
You know what? We normally let some matches play out and then watch later, but since we've been trying to move pretty punchy through the tournaments, and we're actually starting the top 8 earlier than we ever have in any week before.
Yeah.
We're getting good at this. Let's just live spectate. This is game 1 of Ido versus Sada Dragon. Now, awesome start for Ido. He just came right out with
And
the
that's
Hog
what we were
Rider
talking
Goblin
about.
Zap.
Right at the start of the game, a lot
Open.
of Hog users just throw out their Hog Rider Goblin combination, and if you just, he even had the Valkyrie in hand, and that was still a significant
It looked like
push.
Sada Dragon either threw down the Valkyrie first and then just let the rest happen so he could get the Elixir Collector down, or threw down Collector first and had to panic and drop the Valkyrie.
And again, like we say so many
Great
times,
defense. No damage from that.
that damage on Sada Dragon's tower is his cost for playing the Elixir Collector, and he might be okay with that.
Look how good, like, even then just Musketeer there, a 7 Elixir attack was coming down. It was 4 plus 3. Just the 4 cost Musketeer repelled all of it. That's plus 3.
Yeah, that's
3 for
very,
Sada
very
Dragon.
valuable.
Allows him to really get away. Look at the Elixir advantage right now.
Yeah, that is actually
Huge advantage.
incredible. A 7, was it 6 or 7 Elixir advantage there?
Now with 2 Collectors out, even though he took 1,000 damage at the start of the game from that really aggressive push by Ido, I would say Sada Dragon's actually the favorite right now to take this game. Because how are you going to stop this?
Yep.
6. Ooh. And even now, he can spend a little more Elixir in order to stop the pushes, just knowing that he's always going to be able
buffer.
to, disciple the Elixir Collectors. And here comes the trifecta, the whole
I believe
crew.
his last card is poison.
You're right. Should be a poison.
Yeah.
Haven't really seen a good use to use poison yet. That Hog Rider's getting there at almost full
goodness.
health.
Double Musketeer. This is
Wow.
gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. That's the end
2/3
of
of
the
a 3
tower.
Musketeers.
Even.
Oh, and the zap!
my god. Yeah.
Sada Dragon.
That push.
Woo!
That was
Sada-
a systematical step by step by step. Now
Yeah.
I take down your tower.
I really like the foresight early in the game to be like, you know what? I'm just going to play this Elixir Collector. Even though there's a hog on my tower right now attacking it, this is going to be fine.
And that's when you know that the player has a clear idea of what his strategy is going to be. He's got a very clear
fireball.
Yeah,
Missed
that
there.
fire- Oh!
Oh, almost, yeah.
I almost wish he didn't play the skeletons because that would have been.
It would have turned on the king.
Yep, the king would have gotten mad. Trifecta being
There it
set
is.
up here, and he has
Such
enough elixir
difficult-
for poison. There it is.
There it is. And even though it didn't hit the cannon, it's going to grind down those other 2 cards, especially the Ice Wizard just stands there the whole time.
Yeah, Musketeer in the back. Okay,
Boink.
Minions is actually going to stop that, but now the double Musketeer is coming in. Stabby Goblins is probably the counter, but Skeletons, I really like
There's already
that.
Zap, too. We already know that Zap's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the center Hog Rider with the poison, and the Stabby Goblins they might kill the Hog Rider, but they're dead on the counter push anyways.
All of this is no more counter push for you. Good.
Although I do
desperate
like,
cannon,
that's actually not bad though. That was a good fireball overall. Took out the cannon and did the tower, but unfortunately, Ido's left tower is so weak that I don't think he can take it and defend.
Yeah, he doesn't have the elixir all the time. He's kind of in a checkmate situation. If
Great
he tries
play.
to defend, he doesn't get the right tower. If he tries to go for the right tower, he loses his second tower and loses anyways.
Woo!
Checkmate. Sada Dragon.
Very impressive. I mean, this is I think the first time we've had someone from the top 100.
Yeah.
I want to say top 100, top 200
Yeah.
enter the tournament, and incredible game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we do have some. So here's we had another one here.
Oh, do we want to try to keep with?
You want to try to stay within a single match?
Now that we're in the round of 8, let's try to stay with one match, and then we can go back and take a look at.
So we'll watch. So Sada Dragon's up 1-0. We're waiting for game 2 of their matchup.
Oh, what's going on here?
Our show request. Yeah, they're sorting that out. Well, let's go take a look. I kind of want to do. We'll do match preview, even if
that was a wrong match.
This is an
you want to
incorrect
see the
match.
decks?
Is it Justin Manufan? Do they play? They do play though.
Yeah, but I think something messed up.
We are. Oh crap.
Yeah.
Uh.
Yeah, something happened between Manufan and Justin, so they're replaying. the match.
Oh, I see. I got it. So yeah, Manufan thought it was a wrong matchup. All right, here we go. Ido Sada Dragon. Game 2. We talked about this before. Fireballing an Elixir Collector is a totally reasonable thing. We've seen how much Sada Dragon relies on getting 2 Elixir Collectors out and building up these huge pushes. Sada Dragon's locked in. What's happening right here? Oh, okay. Looks like he was just... I thought he was leaking Elixir, like maybe disconnected, but it looks like he was just thinking.
Yeah.
So the Fireball there is really good because it prevents Sada Dragon from actually having a second Collector out by the time that he cycles back
it's hard to start up that double Elixir Collector.
And actually, Ido's got a good start here, forcing Sada Dragon to Fireball, which is not really what you want to be doing against hog pushes.
I like the change that Ado made to his line of play. I think that's super smart. Ado knows he needs to do something different.
And we know Dragon's playing a different deck, not playing the Trifecta Poison deck, because since he won the first match, he has to switch off of it.
And he can't use it again. Not against Ado.
He's got to win 2 games with this Mini P.E.K.K.A. I believe it's a Hog deck, right? It's a Zap, Fireball, I think Hog and Mini P.E.K.K.A. cycle deck.
Again.
And the only downside here for Ido is that he is splitting the damage pretty significantly. Like, the towers have a similar amount of damage, but really you'd rather have 1 at 1400 than 2 at 1000.
I think in most cases you would rather have that damage all on one tower. But there are situations that this game could play out where that might come in handy, maybe far down the road.
Yeah,
but
especially if you got to win a 2-0 battle.
Yep.
Great defense by Ido in this game. I mean, you can definitely see he's adapted. Here goes the Lava Hound. That's
I like this. I like this change because City Dragon knows, okay, well, if I continuously just play Elixir Collectors, I'm not going to get anywhere. So I need to change something up. Let's throw down the Lava Hound and just go.
Very advantageous, though, for Ido because this deck relies on, being able to cast 12 Elixir worth of unanswered stuff. And I do like it. Oh, those 3 minions.
Nice.
Can he zap it? He has zap, but not
It's going to move past the Lava Hound. Oh, no. It's going to tag on the Lava Hound. Oh, no.
And it's getting both towers.
Nice.
Wow, that zap there wasn't so good.
And remember what we talked about the first time we saw City Dragon? He started comboing his Lava Hounds into one another, and that was because he had Elixir Collector down, and he was in double Elixir Collector. This time around, no such luck, just because Ado has been so good about denying the Elixir Collectors.
I mean, if you look at it, it was a 12 Elixir push that didn't do anything. Did like 400 damage to the tower. It's not good enough. And that, again, having to Fireball on defense is not good enough. Fireball and Zap plus Cannon to stop a relatively cheap push is adding up. You can see Ido's getting ahead in Elixir despite Sada having an Elixir Collector.
Interesting. Now his Fireballs is committed to not denying the Elixir Collector, and this might come around to bite him. Because we saw exactly how much that instantly changed. The instant that Sada Dragon got up to 2 Elixir Collectors, there was no more damage done by Ado.
Clearly wants to take advantage of it. Like, immediately drop the other Collector
as soon as possible. He's going to zap the tower.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh,
He's actually in spell range.
The
Cycle
zap
Fireballs.
There is very good.
If he's in overtime, the Lava Hound and balloons actually act slow enough, and Ado has a cannon. He can actually distract the balloon. He just needs to cycle fireballs.
Missed the fireball, but it doesn't matter.
He took a risk.
Oh, when it didn't pay off, didn't even get a swing.
That could hurt so much.
Great placement by Sada Dragon to place the cannon outside of fireball range.
Every single fireball is super important.
Come on, 1 swing at the Mini P.E.K.K.A. And it does hit. That allows the Lava Hound to get off of that distraction kind of quickly. Unfortunate thing for Sada Dragon is he has to fireball.
Oh no, the Hog Rider, it's a race. No, the cannon gets placed
fireball,
down.
And there's the zap.
He's racing the balloon.
Oh, it stops it! Oh, no! 20 health left! And
Oh, my God! No, it's just Ado was unwilling. He was unwilling to use the fireball. He wanted the Hog Rider to get the swings in. He did not have it in his mind.
Cycled the fireball. Should have just cycled 2 fireballs.
He
2
had
fireballs would have done it.
The cannon placement by City Dragon was again that position that Clark can't use, where it cannot be fireballed. You can't fireball both the cannon and the tower. Ado made the decision to fireball the cannon. The decision should have been fireball the tower.
And interesting, you can kind of see it here on the after screen. I want to call out, good call by Sada Dragon, placing his Elixir Collector 1 tick over. I believe the fireball couldn't reach both, but if it was clicked even one further in, it would have given Ido an easy fireball to hit. That would have been worthwhile.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, what a game. What a really close game.
Yeah, yeah.
Woo.
Ado, man. It's just these end game decision making things.
And that Sada Dragon wins 2-0.
Yeah.
Actually, Clark Kent looks like they're going into game 3 now.
Let's take a look.
Alpha Kevin Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is game 3 of Clark Kent versus Alpha Kevin.
Let's take a look at the. We're gonna follow their matches.
Oh, this is game 3.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is the last one. I'm sorry. This is game 3 of their match. Of Clark Kent, because we're gonna go to the top 4. This is top 8. This is game 3 of the top 8 round. So here we go. So we're catching this. So congratulations, Sada Dragon cashing, making the top 4, winning the at least 1 Super Magical chest, and of course his first points on the Super Magical leaderboard.
Yep.
Clark Kent continue the incredible streak that he has going and overtake Woody on the top of the leaderboard.
Good defense by Clark Kent against that Hog Goblin.
That low health Mini P.E.K.K.A. did a lot of work too.
Yeah, it was really high value. The counter push is not going to be that great for Clark Kent here, but he's going to install another push on the left side, Minor Goblins.
I like the zap there on the Spear Goblins, just stopping the damage right. Because you look, the Minor itself doesn't do that much damage. Casting Minor alone is not usually not a great thing to do.
Musketeer cannon to defend.
Oh, no! Misses the Musketeer.
And now this means a big counter push could
actually Kevin missed the tower and the Musketeer. He hit the cannon, but that was it.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
So great placement by Clark Kent. I mean, I think he also was smart in playing it outside of the range.
Yeah. Musketeer, great at taking down towers just because it has such long range. Barbarians in front tanking for the Inferno Tower, and now the Musketeer tags on, and the poison is added on. The Musketeer actually doing tons of damage, and the poison is ticking the tower health down. 1k health left on the left side. Alpha Kevin. I mean, Clark Kent's defense, and one of the other things about Clark Kent too is his offensive decision making is always fantastic. And he's demonstrating that here. Waiting for the 10 elixirs to 10 elixir pooling.
I like that fireball. That was a really good predictive fireball. It hit both the mini P.E.K.K.A and the Ice Wizard and the tower. Was actually, I mean, it was great placement. Yeah. But and actually those. Oh, and it stopped the mini P.E.K.K.A from getting a swing on too. Wow.
Yeah.
Fireball.
The little differences. That could
game
be.
Of inches.
Yeah, that could be the swing that would have won the game for Clark Kent if something bad happens down the road. We'll see. Poison is on the table for Clark Kent. Could get zapped, maybe. Nice. Always in front. And he needs to.
Got that cannon. There it is. Yeah.
Nice. He was waiting for the timing.
That fireball. This time there was not a predictive fireball. It would have been really good against the barbarians. It does end up wiping them out.
But I think Clark Kent is going to be more than happy with this situation.
Yeah, I mean, only 500 damage.
Yeah, 2 poison minor combinations away from.
Ooh,
or maybe even just one. No, he still needs one, either a minor or a poison.
Yeah. But I don't know if there's anything that Alpha Kevin can do to stop it. It's only 100 damage, so really what we need is this Hog Rider to do an incredible push. That fireball was a good gamble, but it just didn't quite work out. And I really expect Clark Kent to take it right about now.
Yeah, it's going to be super tough.
And there's the poison. Yep. So into the top 4 for Clark Kent. So actually, you're right. We do normally watch all the top 8 matches. I was a little trigger happy. I just kind of blanked on that.
It's okay.
So
we're good. We
have 2 matches that we've already seen all the way through. Or not 2 that we've seen the results to. So congratulations to Clark Kent.
Yeah.
We have to watch Malcade and XYZ.
Let's go ahead and find their first game here. Okay.
And then we also have Justin and Manufan. That's the first one. It is.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Here we go. There we go. We haven't seen Malcade play today. Neither have we seen XYXC.
I think we have. Maybe not. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
But either way, the very popular giant balloon archetype we've seen a lot of today. This is kind of the deck of the day, I would say.
Yeah, interesting. All the decks that we were trying to predict, Golem Poison and even Trifecta Poison, which is kind of popular, but I feel like we haven't seen it quite as much as Giant Balloon.
Yeah, Giant Balloon has easily been the most popular one today, along with various and assorted Hog Rider variants.
Yeah.
I like, let's see. Again, like the only thing Malcade actually I think is probably nervous about the balloons because it only has Princess and I guess Fireball and Minions to really deal with it. Of course, you can always distract with the cannon, but yeah, I'll be interested to see how these pushes go.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here.
So game 1 of this series, we're gonna watch all the games in this series, 2 or 3 games. It's whoever wins.
Yep. We will see. Elixir Collector in the opening hand for Zix's.
Both ticking towards 10. XYZ drops the Elixir Collector, and it looks like it's not going to get punished for it. Splitting the Barbarians is a good, safe play for Malcade, but it doesn't really punish the Elixir Collector at all.
Yeah. So it looks like he's going to commit to the left side entirely. Arrows is going to take
Stops
that down.
it. Yeah, arrows can really pick apart a squad of Barbarians, so I kind of like that as preventative measures to stop your Barbarians from getting just completely cleaned up. However, even just the 1 or 2 attacks, the Zap plus the Princess, probably means that Barbarian squad's never actually going to hit the tower.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if he even needed the cannon. The cannon might not have even been required.
Yeah, I would, and even if they did get the tower, it would probably just be 1 or 2 swings, which is not a big deal. Nice.
Unfortunately, those Barbarians didn't quite work out the way probably XYZ wanted them to. Mini P.E.K.K.A wasted a swing on like a near dead Barbarian, then hit another one. There's no supporting fire to help finish it off.
Yeah.
There's a lot of art and science to getting your Mini P.E.K.K.A to get the right attacks at the right time.
Here comes a big punish for
Don't
XYX.
see the balloon. Yeah, it looks like he's not committing to the balloon with it. Oh, it is going with the Mini P.E.K.K.A though. Those minions though are gonna do a lot of damage. Probably gonna kill the Mini P.E.K.K.A before.
Oh no.
Nice.
Yep, this is a big connection here.
1, 2. That's it. The tower is down.
Goodness.
Wow. It's crazy how you don't even really need the balloon. We were so worried about the balloon that Mini P.E.K.K.A sort of a ground
Yeah,
balloon.
the big thing about it was XYX was on a double elixir collector setup that had been pumping for a while, and so the elixir advantage was in his hand, and Malkade actually decided to take that opportunity to try to fireball the more newly placed elixir collector, and XYX already had the elixir to punish with a giant mini P.E.K.K.A push, and that resulted in Malkade losing his tower on the right. The timing on when you punish an elixir collector is very important.
Yeah, I mean, the sooner the better. Like, we actually saw it in the other game where they both had elixir collectors that if, I believe, Azith maybe or Ido played the elixir collector first, and then the other person waited like 5 seconds. Well, at that point, they have 10 elixir, and if you drop a collector, they have the ability to really come at you.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy push going on there. All
no.
those little chump minions are going to take that tower down, it looks like, or get really close to it.
Oh, goodness. 230 health, and that happened so quickly.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're saying, the Hog Rider goes down and all the little junk units behind it just clean up. Fortunately, the Princess goes down, so he can't use it to support that push. This Hog Rider's probably going to take this tower. Can this mini P.E.K.K.A... Oh!
Oh, no!
Those arrows! Those arrows were huge!
Oh, no, it makes all the
Is that
difference.
mini P.E.K.K.A going to take that tower down? No, he's not. No, gets killed by the Barbarians.
But such significant damage done. 622 health, and because of the position advantage, XYX can play his Giant aggressively and even a Balloon aggressively, or he can play Balloon in the back and then play Giant suddenly as a pop-up tank. Kind of like the
XYZ has the weaker King Tower, could be 3-crowned as well.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I like that placement. The mini P.E.K.K.A didn't draw any aggro, so it's once again free to just run around and do its dirty work. Actually, it's picked up onto the mini P.E.K.K.A now.
Yeah, the tower's on the mini P.E.K.K.A, but there's still so
arrows.
much that he has to clean up.
That's it. That Giant
Yep.
punches through your walls.
Yep.
Comes in.
Y.
Game 1 over Malkade. Malkade, great player. We've watched him and Mazarath play in the top 4 before. I believe that was game 1, yeah.
All right, let's go to game 2 here. So, XYX has to swap up his decks, and it looks like he's running kind of a Manufan-esque, you know?
The minor aggro, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if I call it minor control, minor aggro.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Malkade, I don't remember what exactly his deck from the last time was, but I think this is the same. I think so, yeah.
It's probably a 4-card difference. I mean, he did have the zap and the fireball. Did Malkade not change his deck? I'm not sure.
Well, Malkade lost, so.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
he stays on the same deck. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. XYZ has to change.
Yeah, we'll see. Malkade could switch if he wanted to, but he doesn't have to. Let's take a look-see. Good luck.
Okay, so Malkade had faith in the deck. Even after that loss, was just like, nope, sticking with it. I believe it can win.
And interesting that there is no elixir collector to open for XYX. So he has to play somewhat aggressively. And there it finally is popping up.
The miner, though, looks like it's not going to hit the Princess.
But Princess in the back.
Oh,
Doesn't get
gets
another
killed.
shot.
Wow.
Oh,
So the
and a
Princess
Hog
gets
Rider
to
leading the
survive.
charge. Double zaps going
Great
across.
zaps there. Oh, and the Princess is actually going to clean up, letting the Hog Rider get a few attacks in. Wow, and I think the skeletons just got killed.
And now the minions. Oh, God.
Wow,
that is very
princess,
expensive. Yeah.
Malkade's Princess is about to win this beauty pageant, the Princess of the Year award.
Yep. Smack.
And that's still the 3 elixir that just didn't need to be spent, really. Great, though, on that Princess. I think XYZ's Princess is going to get a lot of value here defending.
Yeah, but oh my God, look at how much damage they do!
Goblins. It was the Goblins that ran ahead of the Barbarians. And here goes the mini. Oh, and that Princess is dead.
This is a tough call for
So
XYX.
Malkade's up big right now. The question is, will he continue to push and take a 2-1 game like the last time, or will he just defend and take down a 1-0 game? At this point, very incentivized to play defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, don't even cast a Hog Rider unless you feel like it's given to you.
Especially against XYX's deck, which is so explosive. You really want to make sure you don't have any gaps in your defense at all. And now finally does the first elixir collector get played.
It's
really
a great defend. Yeah, so if he's going to commit to a cannon, you're pretty safe to be like, all right, he doesn't have anything he wants to do. He's buying time. Smart, though. Malkade's smart to fireball and make sure that doesn't actually get anywhere with it.
Yep. This is a tough situation for XYX. He doesn't have the momentum in place. He just can't quite find his footing.
Yeah, XYX is struggling to put together convincing pushes against Malkade's deck. Malkade has a lot of good cheap units between cannon, minions, zap, barbarians, all these kind of cards. There's a lot of ways to counter miner into things that, accompany miners.
Lots of trump cards, but no mini P.E.K.K.A to be found. And that's going to be interesting. The miner gets taken down by the barbarians. A few minions are left over, but again, just
That princess dies. Malkade's princess just loses a duel.
Yep. And now the mini P.E.K.K.A, no matter how low his health is, the miner will be tanking for it, so it could do big value, but no, the barbarians again on the miner.
Honestly, Zap has been really impressing me in these matches. The amount of uses for Zap is just incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the princesses. Oh, they don't. XYZ was trying to live off of having multiple princesses. Didn't quite work today.
Wow. Mini P.E.K.K.A in front. Gets one strike on the cannon, but again, just nothing to be said about the offense.
Kits to put together. It's a bummer that everything on XYZ's deck is so fast. They all move so quickly that it's actually hard to like invest them into the future, because even if you play something like a minion horde way back, it's already at the bridge before you've gotten your elixir back.
They live and die in a moment's notice. So Malkade brings it back 1-1. Brings it back 1-1, and so they're both now on their final decks. XYX has to stay with the minor aggression, and Malkade moves on to a Royal Giant cannon. A Royal Giant Princess Minion Horde Mini P.E.K.K.A setup.
I like the Minion Horde and Princess together, so if they ever arrow your Princess, you can punish them with the Minion Horde right after it. That's pretty good.
Absolutely. Let's take a look. Malkade versus XYX. Good. Spear goblins and skeletons, so they don't want to commit. I almost feel like you should have played that spear goblins at the bridge.
Yeah, I was maybe deciding if Winnie wants to follow it up with the miner, but when he saw the Royal Giant and all the other stuff.
Interesting that it didn't go for the princess.
Yeah, odd placement there. Because I feel like it would have turned around and attacked the Royal Giant.
Yeah.
And even just like the sequence, like even the placement there, notice that the minion horde's running in front of the miner and gets killed.
Yeah. Interesting choice. XYX loses a lot of health on his tower for it. 1.2k down, 1.3k remaining.
Interesting to see. So this time, at least he has his elixir collector down early. So if he's going to put together these big pushes, he has more of an ability to do that. Last game, we saw XYX just really struggled to actually get the elixir advantage. I'm surprised that he fireballed that one and not the lower health tower. Because even if you only took 3 pumps off, it's like a more relevant tower to deal damage to.
Exactly. And the benefit of having a tower down is unquantifiable.
Yeah.
You know, it allows you to play a completely different strategy. Exactly.
Wow.
This was a well set up push. This is the combination that we're looking for. Look at that. The minion horde, even at low health, just defend for the mini P.E.K.K.A, and one swing is all it needs. Maybe even a second one, and it's gonna take down the tower possibly.
The most underrated thing that just happened there was the miner popped up. It looked like kind of far from the princess, but was apparently just in range and ended up killing the princess before attacking the tower. I think if the miner had locked onto the tower and not the princess, that could have gone very different.
Oh wow. My god.
No way to stop that.
Oh my god.
Doink. Good job by Malkade. I mean, even though the mini P.E.K.K.A is over there doing some damage, I think that is good. It forces his hand in a way.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate.
XYX unsure of what to do. Clearly has the tower locked in, is just unsure of how to.
You can always zap that left side tower. Why place the minion horde on that side? Maybe to bait the fireball away?
Yeah, he's baiting. I mean, he didn't have anything else to play. XYX was faced with leaking elixir otherwise.
Nice timing on the cannon.
Yeah, so elixir inefficient, but good defense. He's going to take a hit or two on this tower, but it's fine. Like, ultimately, it's better than losing at this point.
Yeah. Spirit Golems will finish up that left side tower.
I think he can still cast his elixir collectors in the middle. It just should have been not so far up
that the Royal Giant could reach across. Yeah.
I think they're going to kill each other, the little dueling princesses. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe he was like trying to get a bait there.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows all he has to do is zap, right?
Yeah.
Take it down.
Yep.
XYX wins game 3. So, moving on to the top 4 over previous top 4 placer Malkade. Congratulations.
It's interesting to think about. So XYX, his strategy for closing out the game, and I'm interested to hear your opinion on this. He played it one way where he was like, I'm going to maintain my elixir advantage all throughout this game. And I'm just going to time it such that I spend my elixir at the last moment in overtime to finish the game guaranteed right at that point. Just zap it right at the end. As opposed to now leaving that left tower where it is at low health and then playing the right side tower and trying to see what he can do there. Now, I think the benefit of playing in that way is that you set yourself up for a situation where even if something happens, you can now take down the right side tower, then zap the left side tower, and then win the game in overtime, kind of like as kind of like a backup plan if something goes wrong, as opposed to if you were just trying to not play anything aggressive and just leave that right side tower at super low health or super high health. What happens if he pushes through your defenses and you're left with a low health tower of your own now, right? And I wonder which one you feel is actually better, because in not pushing across the bridge, there's obviously a risk in committing elixir to attacking your opponent too, right? And so you have to weigh these two options. If you have any opinions on which style you like to go for, or if in certain conditions you go for one or the other.
I tend to be aggressive. I mean, I play Royal Giant primarily, so that's a deck that really can't sit back and defend, and is very advantageous once you take a tower to start placing center placed Royal Giants to keep the push going. I tend to win a lot of games 2-1 because I'm up 1-0, and I sort of that's the first game.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
That's I tend to I'll tend to sacrifice a tower and win 2-1 because it's really hard if you commit 8-9 elixir to, like, I have to kill this tower. There's only 20 seconds left. If I just throw like Princess and Royal Giant in the other lane, I end up taking that tower. I'm gonna run to the restroom. I'll let you do the match preview and start this, and I will catch back up in the middle of the match.
Absolutely.
Manufan running the deck that he made popular. The Minor Princess Mini P.E.K.K.A.
Which we just saw, actually.
Yeah, actually. Honestly, I never saw that deck until Manufan, I believe, won the Super Magical Cup with it. It started popping up everywhere. So I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, Manufan, really exciting. He's kind of holding up the fort for Elite Gaming, and now he's back in the top 8, consistently in the top 8, and he's a really strong player, running his classic deck, which I would attribute to him. And oh goodness, the thing is showing up again. Let's lower that height just a little bit. Let's do that. Cool. And Justin, on the other hand, is running a Hog Rider deck. So the next raffle, guys, by the way, I see somebody in chat poking us for it. The next raffle will start during the semifinals, and the final raffle will start during the finals. So 2 more raffles to go. Semifinals and finals will be when they happen. All right, Justin is going to be running a Hog cycle deck using Goblins, Valkyrie, Ice Lizard, Cannon, just good defense, and relying mainly on his Hog Rider for offense. Interesting that he doesn't necessarily have a double threat. Valkyrie is pretty slow on the counter push, even though it can be very, very effective. Not quite the same as say, a Mini P.E.K.K.A. So let's go ahead and see. Manufan plays the Mini P.E.K.K.A. in the back, and a Cannon is used as defense. But Ice Wizard Cannon is going to be more than enough to hold that off. I wonder if Manufan is just needing to cycle up to his win condition. Now he has his Elixir Collector. Wasn't in his opening hand, and that can be kind of rough. But he has it now, and he's cleaned up the push with pretty good efficiency, and he is going to play the Collector. Fireball is in hand. Justin could choose to Fireball it, but instead opts to play the Valkyrie. Doesn't hit the Princess with it, but gets the Elixir Collector and the tower, I believe. Alright, the Spear Goblins will push across.
Let's go.
And still very non-committal by Manufan. He's really just throwing cheap cards around, not really committing to very much. A Miner on the right side is an interesting choice. And Justin is going to answer with a Hog Rider on the right, but Cannon is there again. Double towers hitting onto the Hog Rider. It's not going to get anything done. A complete counter right there. Now this is starting to become a bigger and bigger push coming across the river for Justin. Last time it was just kind of the Valkyrie. This time it's the Valkyrie and the Skeletons and the Ice Wizard. And Justin's actually going to tag onto Manufan's right side tower. Manufan plays another Elixir Collector, but Justin has another Fireball. He could opt to Fireball it, but Justin's going to punish with Goblin plus Hog Rider. Uses the Zap early, and the Cannon is placed in such a way that both towers won't be hitting it, and the Zap is going to earn the Hog Rider maybe a swing or two. No, the Mini P.E.K.K.A. actually takes it down just in time. Skeletons surround the mini P.E.K.K.A. Hog Rider moves across a bridge. Minion Horde is actually positioned, and the Fireball is going to be committed to taking down the Princess at the back of the tower. And this opens up the opportunity for Manufan to get into the double Elixir Collector territory here. 30 seconds left, however. I don't know if he exactly wants to do that. And it seems like Manufan's going to play aggressive. Spear Golem and Mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to be the aggressive push while Miner tanks it up. Miner gets taken down by Ice Wizard, Valkyrie. And that's going to be a great response by Justin. I like the way that he went towards the Miner first. Made sure he got rid of the tanking threat and still had the opportunity to protect against the Mini P.E.K.K.A. with the Ice Wizard. Miner pops up on the right, getting some chipping damage, but so far nothing significant done in terms of damage for Manufan. Only now does he have 1.7k. By the same token, it's been hard for Justin to set up another really reasonable offense in a long time. Hog Rider against Cannon again. Time and time again, always unsuccessful. Minion Horde, Miner, Mini P.E.K.K.A. The big zap on top of the Mini P.E.K.K.A. And this time, having the Ice Wizard there to clean up the Minion Horde was great for Justin. And I just keep feeling like Manufan can't really get momentum in this match. Ice Wizard plus the Skeletons, and now finally the Hog Rider comes in. That's a good timing here. The Hog Rider is going to make it through. Zap earns the Hog Rider another swing, and the 30 takes it down. Justin goes up 1-0 against Manufan, and Justin maintained pace of that match all the way through. And I mean, it almost felt like it was a situation where Manufan would have really liked to have his Elixir Collector in his starting hand, but he didn't have it until maybe 3 or 4 cards down. And Justin just used his Hog Cycle deck to put on pressure onto Manufan, fireballed the first Elixir Collector that came down, and that prevented Manufan from getting to that double Elixir Collector position. And Justin continued to just keep pressing offense. Anytime Manufan tried to get an Elixir Collector up, he just had to deal with more units that he had to defend against, and ended up losing to that last Hog Rider push you saw. Eventually the cycling on the Cannon and the Hog Rider was offset, and Manufan didn't have it ready to defend that final Hog push.
Yeah, I think it shows how fluid and dynamic the meta is in this game. I mean, 3 weeks ago, Manufan completely surprised everyone with this deck that nobody knew how to deal with, nobody knew how to predict it, how it worked, what it did, and now people are so familiar with the deck that they can build decks that are good against it, have lines of play to counterattack it. So game 2.
Absolutely. Game 2, Manufan, he lost the first game.
Opted to switch,
and he opted to switch to Trifecta Poison, which is this is one of the most
Elixir
effective.
Collector though, which is actually one of the more commonly played cards in it. So it's a Trifecta deck without Elixir Collector.
Interesting.
I would say that's normally going to hurt him, but as you can see, Justin's deck also doesn't have an Elixir Collector, so maybe okay.
Yeah. So Justin, on the other hand, playing a different version of a cycle deck, swapping out some of the assisting cards. Doesn't have a Fireball, has arrows instead. Now Fire Spirits, and not Spear Goblins, melee Goblins instead, and Flying Minions. So flying minions, all minions are flying, but
mini minions.
Mini minions, yeah, absolutely. Cool. So let's go ahead and jump into this game.
And I believe this is the last. This is game 2, so if Justin wins, the series is over. If Manufan wins, we'll go to a game 3. After that, we'll close up the raffle, start the next raffle, and we'll do the top 4 live spectating. Top 4 where all the players receive at least a super magical chest. We have 3 of our top 4. Congratulations to Sada Dragon, Clark Kent, and XYX.
Nice arrows there. Got the goblins, got the cannon, got the tower. Unfortunately, that's not going to translate into the Hog Rider doing much damage, but still. Manufan has to watch out for that cycling for his cannon.
Because interesting is this is kind of the situations where those decks where the Trifecta deck tends to run Elixir Collector. Is that, you know, he played the Musketeer all the way in the back, but it's kind of like he doesn't really want to, like, I guess you push now, but there's all this stuff in front of you, right? This is the situation where you normally just want to play your Elixir Collector and just hope. Ooh, good zap there. Well-timed zap that actually keeps his minions pretty much untouched.
Yeah. Cannon plus the Valkyrie. Gonna try to do what they can to defend. Hog Rider gets 1 swing off, and the melee Goblins in the back take down the Ice Wizard. Fire Spirits against the Goblin, and the Hog Rider does a good amount of damage, but the zap is gonna give the Hog maybe an extra swing or 2. Valkyrie gets nothing.
No tanky stuff to go with those minions. I mean, maybe if you played something even like Goblins with it, you could take advantage of those 3 shots, but opted to play it safe.
Yeah. And I still feel like right now especially without the Elixir Collector, Manufan, I mean, he really needs to make sure he invests in a big push in the back, putting slow units down to have full effectiveness by having the 3 cards down on the field plus the poison.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Elixir to commit, especially if you don't have an Elixir Collector. It's hard to get that situation, especially if you're constantly having to defend.
Bummer, he can't really play Barbarians here into the Valkyrie. I mean, he's thinking about it, but obviously Justin's kind of like, I guess I just play Minions instead.
Yeah. The honest it does well enough, it just takes a long time.
Ooh, that poison's going to clear out all that.
Yep. The interesting thing about poison is even after units leave the field, it actually ticks them maybe one or 2 times more. So as long as they enter that area, they take a significant amount of damage.
You can, small units like goblins don't even have to walk to the center. They can just catch the side
just
of
a
it.
tiny bit of it.
Hard time for both. It's interesting that damage is even really hitting on the towers. I feel like both players' pushes aren't really going anywhere.
Yeah.
They're spamming poison and things like that on each other as they're attacking, but it's not really...
yeah, units aren't really connecting as much.
Yeah, hardly at all. The Hog Riders hit a very small amount of times. The Fire Spirits are actually doing a great job at sort of neutralizing a lot of Manufan's pushes.
Yeah, I really like. I mean, the Fire Spirits are nothing to sneeze at, right? For 2 costs, they're basically doing what, some 300 or something damage, or if 3 of the Fire Spirits jump on the target.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah,
I think they do like 150 each.
I mean, start comparing that to how much damage a Fireball does, right?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, for 2 Elixir, they absolutely do about as much damage as a Fireball to a single target.
Yeah. And
then with the splash, they can.
Yeah. They're really, really good.
I didn't like that arrows. I mean, I guess he was worried about trying to predict something else, but not like Cannon, Musketeer, and Valkyrie, and the Tower, all of them can resist an arrow shot pretty well. Oh, wow. Great poison placement.
Nice.
Those Barbarians, between the Valkyrie and the poison, are not going to do much to stop that.
That gave the Hog Rider 2 swings in the face of the Barbarians.
Yeah. Musketeer was low enough, though, didn't get a shot off. Pretty good. Still, though, game's still, I guess, reasonably tied. Like, either of them could have a strong push. It's weird that I feel like Justin's pushes are not going anywhere. Manufan's playing really good defense, yet Manufan's tower does have a lot of damage.
Here's Justin's play. He's trying to mix it up. Pre-arrows catches nothing, but the melee goblins could do a big amount of damage. No, the Valkyrie draws them over to the side.
And hey, great poker by Justin. I mean, he had the goblins and the minions. He just didn't play them.
Yeah.
Maybe he did it because he had seen the predictive arrows before. Oh, again, the poison. That's the thing, is you really can't sit back against these trifecta defense decks because eventually that Hog Rider poison thing will just force damage.
Yeah, and take a look, this Musketeer will survive all 4 of the Barbarians. And now,
from push to push.
This position is looking bad. The Zap misses the minions, but arrows on top of it.
Well, great job by the minions and arrows to pretty much single-handedly stop that push.
Still in a dangerous situation. Justin is kind of trying to stay afloat with the elixir that Manufan is putting out right now.
Hey, it might not be much, but that little bit of splash damage does count.
Yep.
Once
Poison
again. Those Barbarians are getting chewed up. That might be the death of Justin. Like, if Justin loses this game...
He's down to 309 health. That Musketeer is really healthy, and this is what I'm talking about. Justin is having a hard time staying afloat. He's constantly having to spend elixir. He can't put together a push. He has to defend inefficiently because any kind of... if he messes up his defense,
You know what I mean? You can't play the Fire Spirit, you can't play the Goblins. Everything else in the poison's going to die. I like that he played his Barbarians up a little bit to try to block it, and those Fire Spirits did a great job.
Nice.
They survived the poison.
It was a big connection, but the Goblins played into the poison. One of them does survive, but ends up getting zapped down anyways.
Cannon will take this right back down.
And you can see just how careful Manufan had that cannon in his hand for a long time. Hog Rider makes it over for maybe 2 swings.
Oh.
And the zap!
Oh,
my god,
wow.
the 3rd swing would have been so
we're
close.
We're deep in overtime, too.
Cycling poison. You cycle poison.
Is.
There it is.
He needed to try to... Great job by Justin to really try to force it through. I mean, obviously it didn't work, but he knew that he was dead on the next poison, so just sell the farm, do everything you can.
Yeah. Manufan takes the first game. Or rather, Manufan ties the series.
Ties it up. So we go to game 3, which is down
I believe this is that. And here it is.
This is game 3.
Game 3.
All right.
So Justin has to maintain with his Fire Spirit deck, and Manufan has to switch back over to his Mini P.E.K.K.A. Minion Horde deck. Now, actually, you know, ever since Manufan used this deck in the first Super Magical Cup, it was hyper effective, very, very strong, but I feel like it quickly fell off in effectiveness. Like,
what happened is that Fire Spirits kind of came into the meta. Fire Spirits have been very popular the last 2 weeks in Hog Rider decks and Mini P.E.K.K.A. decks, whatever. And that card's really strong against these sort of decks. It's good against Miner, it's good against Mini P.E.K.K.A., it's good against the Minion Horde and the Princess and stuff. So, especially between the Zap and the arrows and the Fire Spirit, I'm really struggling to see how Manufan is going to put together a really strong offense.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So let's see what happens here. And remember, I mean, Justin is the person who defeated Jason, and he's a new face. Manufan is a proven competitor.
Yeah, so for if Justin overcomes Jason the Giant and Manufan, quite a pedigree entering his first top 4 if the win. But of course, Manufan's a regular competitor who has pulled out championship level defense before against people like Woody and Clark Kent.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
This is very Justin might be. I mean, we have Justin
Arrows,
who is doing really
interesting.
well.
Justin opts to not arrows the princess.
Yeah.
Had princess selected and everything. He's gonna go to goblin him.
Oh!
Very good. So opts the ice wizard will work. Actually, I think that. Okay, it missed. Oh wow! So the hog. Great timing on the fire spirits and the hog rider. You can see the fire spirits just quickly tear up that mini peck. It ends up. I mean, 3 attacks with the hog rider is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, the mini P.E.K.K.A. there does chop down the hog rider, but in the end, it's, it doesn't really matter.
The wizard will do a little bit more too. The ice wizard's going to chip in another 200 damage.
That's a good push for Justin. I think he feels like he won that. I mean, and look at the elixir situation. I mean, Manufan got away basically with an elixir collector because he played it, and now he's 1 elixir ahead or behind. So Justin now has to figure out.
Well, the arrows this time though, because now those minions are dead. Those minions are dead if he doesn't cast anything. So he's basically taking a 3-for-0 loss by not arrowing the princess. I feel like I would have done taking the princess arrows, because even if you force him to play zap or something. Great timing on the goblins there. The miner never locked onto the tower. It's funny because even though these games are a lot of chip shots back and forth, that's when it becomes very critical to have your goblins tank things like miner.
Yeah.
Because even if miner only does like 200 per attack, you're switching so many back and forth.
In 3-minute overtime, that thing's gonna go down.
Yeah, it'll eventually take the tower. Your towers don't heal.
Yep.
You can always cast more goblins.
Yes. Absolutely. Fire spirits, accompanied by barbarians, and I think this is. I think this is the reason why he did that was to try to take out the mini P.E.K.K.A. That was dropped for the fire spirits, but I don't think that worked out.
The princess obviously saved the day there by killing the fire spirits. I didn't like that zap on the miner. Oh, because he had fire spirits. Whoa, that's why.
Yeah.
Makes sense now, Justin. You know your deck better than me. I trust you.
Yeah.
So he has arrows again, so he can arrows that whole thing if he really wanted to.
Okay, it was pretty good. Couldn't hit the elixir collector, I think, without hitting the king tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I wonder if at what point you take it, because the thing is that even if you activate the tower, it takes a few seconds to turn on. Your hog could have theoretically gotten an attack or 2.
Yeah, maybe.
And then at that point, you can actually just fireball or fire spirit. You don't really need to.
Miner actually makes his way through. Again, these players just play such great defense.
They're playing the same sequence of cards over and over again. I'm wondering what.
Oh!
Great one. I'm really wondering what Justin's trying to do by playing the exact same sequence of cards over and over again. Like, he's clearly trying to make something happen a little different, but I don't know exactly what that thing is.
Yeah. I mean, that time he got a lot closer. It didn't translate to damage onto the tower, but closer, he's starting to have a better read each time he plays.
Once again, those fire spirit, like.
Yeah. Just keep getting wiped away by the princess.
But he saw the princess. Princess was already there. Like,
and he actually zapped for his melee goblins.
Nice.
That could have gone just a little bit better. 1 stab is good, though. Melee goblins do a ton of damage. Ice Wizard for the miner.
You can see the princess and the mini P.E.K.K.A. are single-handedly killing the barbarian horde. That's really strong. Oh, great distraction. But I feel like Justin's falling behind an elixir. I feel like Manufan really has the advantage right now.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, Manufan's falling behind elixir. Justin has the advantage.
Yeah, Justin is slowly pushing the problem onto Manufan's side of the map.
The same cards are being cast, but it feels like it's just going slightly better
each time. Just like minor adjustments each time. And it just all depends on when Justin wants to cash in on that advantage.
I feel like he doesn't have enough stuff to back up the hog. The hog keeps dying to the cannon and not quite making it to the tower.
Let's see if this time the fire spirits do anything significant. It could hit the tower and the mini P.E.K.K.A. No, too late. Interesting.
600 damage separates Justin from top 4 finish. And those arrows, you know what's crazy? That arrow cycle, while it's not doing too much, because we've seen this exact same sequence of cards go down like 5 times or so.
Yeah, he's hit that tower 5 times with his arrows.
Wow, hey, I like how the fire spirits split up there. The zap stalled on them. But still, though, Manufan's doing a good job getting damage in on Justin's tower. Justin's only 1 push away from
getting arrows again.
The princess and the zap has really seemed to stifle Justin's deck from putting together good pushes.
Yeah, great splash.
Too many zap-like effects. for a deck that's relying on fire spirits, minions, and goblins.
Yeah. But Justin is grinding out the win right now.
Now the cannon's out. Notice he doesn't have it in his hand right now. Oh, wow.
Oh, no, that's a big loss.
I don't know if that was something he meant to do.
That's a big loss. Ah! Oh, God.
Wow, I don't know if that was a misclick or if that was something like a strategic plan that we were missing. Like maybe he thought he had cannon selected or something.
Did he have it in his cycle?
I think it was the next card up. I just don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to watch it again. But like, I don't. That's good job, Justin. Congratulations.
Oh my God, Manufan's out.
Manufan is out. Sada Dragon is in. Clark Kent is still in. All right. We are good to go. I believe we can start.
Here is our bracket, and
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and start the raffle. So, Sada Dragon, Justin, Clark Kent, and XYX. So, why don't you go ahead while I start this raffle here? I'm going to throw out the next question. And it's going to be, what is your strongest card or set of cards? What is the strongest combination that you like to play? And how do you use it? So that's going to be the next raffle here. And go ahead and type !raffle space answer the question. What is your strongest card or set of cards you like to play, and how do you use it? So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this bracket. Sada Dragon versus Justin. Interesting. The two new faces, the two winners that have caused many upsets. Sada Dragon versus Justin have to knock each other out. Meanwhile, on the other side, Clark Kent versus XYX. And actually, now that I say that, I just noticed 3 of the top 4 are new faces.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Sada Dragon is not a new face to me, as I've fought him in the ladder a handful of times.
Yeah.
But you're right. He's definitely his first top 4 at the Super Magical Cup.
Yeah, new to the Super Magical
proving
Cup.
that he is dominant in multiple formats of Clash Royale. Clark Kent continues his stomping domination. Actually, Clark Kent, with this performance, has tied Woody at the top of the leaderboard, and if he makes the finals, will be the new #1. So Woody, you've been officially called out. Your #1 spot is not safe.
Yeah.
You have to sign up for next week.
Yeah, 250 at the very least. He will tie at the very least.
Real quick, well, before we get in there, let's can you pull up BlueStacks real fast? I'm just gonna click through. Well, you can keep talking about the thing. I'm gonna pull up real fast the decks that people have played, just so I can write it down real fast.
Yeah, and another thing to note is that because these are all new faces, Manufan doesn't have a chance to get points, Malkate doesn't have a chance to get points, so Clark Kent basically is the only one on that list currently that's going to go up in points. If he passes this round, he's going to surpass Woody. And Woody, who's been for almost 2 months, maybe a month and a bit, has always been in the first place spot in the leaderboards, is about to get dethroned.
See, Sada Dragon had his 2 decks. Clark Kent is running. Oh, Clark Kent's running the triple legendary. We missed it because it was in the earlier.
Oh yeah, in the earlier game.
Triple legendary, and then what was the other deck that Clark Kent played?
Try to scroll up. Yeah.
Oh, this one.
Take a look at that.
And it was what? It looks like kind of a poison, a minor poison deck.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. minor with poison.
Yeah. Okay. And one more. So what's interesting is Sada Dragon actually has brought the first Lava Hound into the top 4. Never had a Lava Hound in the top 4.
And he plays it really well. I mean, we saw that Lava Hound just destroy his opponent. Had 2 of them on the field and then 1 more added on, and so many lava pops when they got popped.
And XYX is running
the Mini P.E.K.K.A. minor
and
with the Minion Horde.
Yeah, and then Giant Balloon. Okay, cool. Wow, very diverse top 8 decks. Like, so before we can get in, we can go to the chat and get ready to start watching these games. But just a quick overview of the top 4 players. Each have 2 decks each. So the top 8 decks, if you're watching at home, is Sada Dragon has brought a Lava Hound Balloon deck as long as Trifecta Poison. Very cool. I like to see 2 different styles. Justin is playing 2 variants of Hog Cycle, where 4 cards the same Hog and Ice Wizard are in both decks, as well as I think Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Clark Kent is running a minor Poison deck, along with the triple legendary minor deck, Minor Princess Ice Wizard. Very cool. So Clark Kent is running a double minor offense. XYX has a minor Princess with the Mini P.E.K.K.A., the same similar kind of deck. Doesn't have Minion Horde in it. Seems to be a big difference between the other two. And then Giant Balloon, which actually might be the first Giant Balloon deck we've seen in the top 4 as well. I'm not
Giant Balloon has not shown up. And I think Balloon in general has not been that popular in the top 4 at all.
Balloon's having a breakout week in the meta right now with 2 of the top 8 decks featuring it, along with 2 different tanks. I mean, Giant Balloon and Lava Hound Balloon are very different decks.
Yeah, and just as a general rule of thumb, in our top 8s, I feel like the decks have been fairly close with like a player who has like very unique decks, but everybody else is either running a bunch of Royal Giants or a bunch of Mortars or a bunch of Hog Cycle decks, right? Having this variety is interesting.
So Justin's opening with one of his 2 Hog decks. It's hard to tell which one is which right now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Sada looks like he got a little slow on the defense there. He played his Elixir Collector, and then immediately the Hogs came down, and I think he got punished for it.
Yeah, but we've seen that happen to Sada before.
Yes.
And he won.
I believe this is the Lava Hound deck, because his trifecta... actually, it is Lava Hound because it runs the minions.
Yeah.
So this is Lava Balloon against one of Justin's 2 Hog Cycle decks. Very nice Fireball there.
Nice.
Deals damage to the tower and just stops the Barbarians in their tracks, basically.
Yep, very good. Leaking Elixir.
Leaking Elixir, yeah, what's going on? I was thinking about it. Oh, maybe not.
Interesting.
We just missed the pump, barely. Ooh, good zap there.
Nice. Minipek is going to be pretty slow in range of the tower, so he's pretty much not going to do very much. Nice!
Oh, the
arrows.
minions! Those minions went down. They were right.
Oh,
out
they're going to go for the King Tower. They're going to go for the King Tower. Oh, no, it didn't. It turned around. So
Yeah.
he needed to place it one more square over.
Either way, though, not a great start for Sada Dragon.
Yeah.
Down on towers. They're about the same elixir, but his collectors are done.
Yeah.
So it looks like Sada Dragon's finding himself in kind of a low spot right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't like that he's having to use the Mini P.E.K.K.A. on offense, because you really want that Mini P.E.K.K.A. on defense against the Hog Rider.
Yeah.
So notice right here, this thing's going to die, and he's going to drop a Hog Rider right after. There you go.
There it is.
Where's you want the Mini P.E.K.K.A., right? He keeps having to rely on cannon.
No, it's just a cannon. And the zap is going to earn the Hog Rider maybe three swings here. 2, 3,
maybe 4.
Yep, 3 swings, 299 health on the left side tower. Man, Justin's Hog Cycle is like somehow even the lines of plays just minute differences. I mean, like we saw against like we saw in the last match against Manufan. Just slight differences in the line of play, and he just opens up his opponent's defense. But here comes a first Lava Hound.
I wonder if he needed to fireball that. Like, if you would have rather had the fireball doing something else, right? Like, I mean, I understand you got to stop these cards somehow, but.
Ooh, the zap.
Oh, but the zap. Oh, okay. The other minions there to pick it up. But it's is it the damage already?
The
been
balloon
done?
is
It's
alive.
Really low. The fire spirits blow up on
it.
And I think those 2 ice wizards there are going to. They can't die to the fireball. They're just going to clean up the lava pups.
Yeah.
I don't really like that second Lava Hound. What are you following it up with?
I think it's a.
Oh no! Oh, you missed it. That's why people always ask me when they watch me on my stream. They say, "Why do you play your cannon so far up?" Because missing a cannon is worse.
Yeah, you need to make sure that. I mean that
Double
2
ice
times.
wizard.
2 times in this match. In the opening hand, Sada misplaces his cannon, and in this last moment, Sada misplaces his cannon again, and that's the difference between winning and losing a match.
Yeah, that's. I mean, these games. It's only 3 minutes. It only takes 30 seconds of goofing up to lose a whole match.
Yep.
So game 1 goes to Justin. Justin is on a hot streak out of nowhere. Has defeated Jason, has defeated Manufan, and is now 1 game up on one of the top players in the entire game, who has also made their own impressive performance.
Yeah.
This next game is actually very, very important, because if Justin wins, moves on to the finals, and the finals pay significantly more than a top 4 spot.
I mean,
getting to even second place is at least $100. 3 super magical chests.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
on
it's
average,
a big
that's
difference.
legendary.
Getting into the points was nice, but getting into the money is nicer.
Yes. Congratulations to both these competitors. Oh, we can throw confetti because we're watching live.
Oh,
you know what? I like to see a 3-game match. I got Sada Dragon in this one.
And early Elixir Collector opener. Let's hope that he doesn't mess up his defense.
So interesting. I think Sada Dragon stuck with the Lava Hound deck. Well, we'll see, right? We'll see when he plays more cards.
Yeah.
But he did.
Yeah.
Sada Dragon is going. If he's going down, he's going down with Lava Hound.
Yeah. Lava Hound. He believes.
But Justin had to switch decks, which is interesting because I don't know if this version has as much air defense as his last Hog Cycle deck.
Yeah. I think he might get
killing
punished
himself
a lot
the Mini
for it.
P.E.K.K.A. though. The funny thing is, I think the biggest problem here is actually not. I think Sada Dragon is mistaken by playing his Mini P.E.K.K.A. on offense.
Yeah.
I think you just want to save it on defense. Oh no, Sada Dragon, another mistake.
You probably meant to play Lava Hound there.
Yeah.
But he could still play Lava Hound in front. Interesting.
Oh,
He's
like the
not
zap
go to.
there. Okay.
Cannon's gonna get eliminated.
But it is gonna take both tower shots. I believe that alone will kill the balloon. I think balloon can't live even just against a cannon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've played quite a bit of balloon in my day.
Yeah. That's a good foresight into. Oh.
Nice. Oh,
he
well.
still gets the
Hey,
swing.
you know what? Justin will take the one hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So overall, though, the game is actually as bad as it's kind of gone for Sada Dragon with some of these early exchanges. They're about tied in elixir, tied in tower damage. It looks like it's about shooken out to be an even game.
Yeah. So we're now waiting, and again, Sada Dragon places the elixir collector that could
Smart
get
place on
fireball.
the other side. Yeah, it's playing on the other side, so the fireball doesn't keep chipping it up. But I think Sada Dragon. I mean, Justin's smart. He knows what the score is. The score is you cannot survive an elixir collector.
Yeah.
If I can't charge you with Hog Rider, I'm at least gonna fireball you.
Here it comes. Lava Hound is on the field. Ideally, he would want to have enough elixir to play the balloon and maybe an assisting card.
There we go. So he kills the Hog Rider. Hopefully,
Here it comes.
The problem is the Lava Hound's so slow, I think the tower's not going to attack the Lava Hound.
Ice Wizard tags onto the mini P.E.K.K.A.
It happens more than you'd like to admit. It's a bummer. You gotta zap that. You gotta zap that Ice Wizard.
Yeah, it gets
Got
one hit.
attack, okay.
One hit, and that's pretty valuable because this Lava Hound will definitely. Okay, he's starting to
got the
snowball
tilt.
it. He's starting to snowball. Hog Rider gets zapped, and
Those
again,
cannons do so much. Look how little damage Lava Hounds do, and that just lets them sit there and get shot to death by towers.
Yeah.
And Ice
Yeah.
Wizards. Those Ice Wizards are actually splashing on both of them. The one time ever those things are doing a lot of damage.
All right, one Lava Hound, but the mini P.E.K.K.A. runs right through. All the units are attacking the Lava Hound. Needs to be freshly placed units, and those goblins.
That balloon is not.
Oh, no!
The
Another
cannon.
Time and time again.
But here we go. We got 6 seconds left. That balloon's gonna make it. 4, 3. Oh, it does.
An
We go in
overtime
overtime.
game.
That's
Oh
right.
my God.
Sada Dragon with his life on the line.
Sada Dragon has to be kicking himself. That cannon just. If he had placed the cannon right, this would be over. The game would be over. He would have moved on to the third game. Just the smallest things from him.
I'm surprised that cannon didn't have time for it again. That zap, I think it was actually a pre-zap that ended up hitting the thing. Oh, wow, this Valkyrie's going to do it. Only need 2 more swings. Oh, and it goes down.
There should be a
Only
spell.
a fireball.
There's a fireball.
Yep. Congratulations, Justin.
Justin.
2-0 Sada Dragon. We have a new name on the scene. Because how do
my
you beat
God.
3 other named players
I-
and not get a name yourself? What clan is Justin in? Is Justin in some of those clans that we should be aware of?
We would have to ask him. I mean, maybe one of the admins can ask him on Discord.
Yeah.
But God, Sada Dragon, I feel like that was super tragic because simply the little detail of placing your cannon right against a Hog Rider.
Mm-hmm.
Difference between possibly winning even the first game, I feel like, and definitely winning the second game.
Absolutely. I mean, you're right. That if that cannon had come out a second earlier, then you're looking at that balloon getting through, taking the tower. Time runs out. Sada Dragon goes on to a game 3.
Yeah. And in game 1, if he had placed that cannon right, that Hog Rider push, all that did damage was a Hog Rider. He would have gotten away with a full health tower and a full elixir collector.
I super respect, though, that he went down fighting with Lava Hound. Like,
Yeah.
he got here with the Lava Hound balloon deck. I think he could have switched to the Trifecta Poison deck, and he's a very good player with that deck. It's probably his main deck. That he could, I don't know, probably could have taken a game, but
Yeah.
ultimately that Lava Hound balloon deck was going to have to win a game no matter what, so
Yeah.
I like that
He
he stuck with it. Yeah.
Yep.
Here we go.
I agree. And Sada Dragon played really, really well throughout this whole tournament. But playing in a tournament, I think, is a little bit different than playing on the ladder. There's different mentalities and thoughts.
some
that
cards
goes-
are just uniquely better because of the overtime rules, because everything's the same level, those kind of things. Congratulations to Clark Kent, by the way, who I just noticed has crossed 4,000 trophies. Clark Kent was not a 4,000 trophy player when he first started. Maybe the skills learned from playing in the event, along with the cash prizes he's won,
are
moved him up in the world.
synergizing to push him up in the world. Congratulations, Clark Kent. That is, we both have Sada Dragon and Clark Kent in this tournament. 4K players. That's sick.
Yes. Trophy counts do matter. It looks like Clark Kent, we don't know yet. I think
This is
triple
a big
legendary.
push.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice distraction. Pull back, though. I think those barbarians are going to get chewed up.
Yeah, the mini P.E.K.K.A. is still in the mist.
Yeah. It didn't actually get beaten up by the barbarians,
One swing,
but
one swing. No,
Wow, great
minions are
timing.
so good at stopping minions. I feel like that's like the third time we saw it today, where minions against mini P.E.K.K.A. about to get a swing and the mini P.E.K.K.A. evaporates.
they're really fast. I mean, the thing is that because they're constantly attacking, it's like a steady hit point shrink.
Yeah.
Whereas things that have slow attack speeds, it's easy to like there might be a second gap where this mini P.E.K.K.A gets to get in and get a swing off.
Yeah, before I can finish off just efficient damage.
Pretty even. Looks like this is the triple legendary deck. I haven't seen a minor yet. Now, what's interesting is that XYX hasn't played an Elixir Collector, even though XYX does have an Elixir Collector in the deck. I wonder if he knows that there's a minor coming, right?
Yeah.
Is afraid of the minor.
Yeah. Now he finally...
There it is.
And just as expected.
Great defense with the skeletons, though.
Nice.
Maybe he wanted to wait till he had skeletons in hand. They could use them as a defense.
And the goblins.
But the goblins are... the minor's not the threat, though, isn't it?
Oh, my God.
That is the downside.
It was a good defense against the minor, but the goblins was the thing that he needs to
Honestly,
really be careful of.
This is one of the nuances of Clark Kent's triple legendary deck that XYX are going to struggle with. He's got goblins, princess, and minions, all of which kind of need to be arrowed. And you can't, where's your arrows? You only have the one in the deck. Notice that there's, besides princess, too, there's no other splash damage.
Yeah. Here comes a giant balloon combination.
The ice wizard is hitting the balloon to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, the splashes.
Look at the mini P.E.K.K.A
balloon.
behind.
But there's a lot of very dangerous troops coming down this lane right now. Arrows will wipe out some of the units in the back line, and the balloon might get a second shot. No, it doesn't.
I'm surprised. It felt like it had time. That ice wizard must have been really slowing it down.
Yeah.
But the princess lives, and that's a little bit more damage. So even right after that great push, it all kind of came back. Wow. We got two building chasers against each other. Is there a zap up there? Stop the skeletons?
No, it doesn't seem like it is.
Wow.
And we're 20 seconds away from overtime. The tower goes down, and now the pressure is on to Clark Kent. He needs to make something happen in these next 14 seconds.
And Clark Kent used his zap defensively. I think he probably wanted to use it offensively.
I think he can do it.
7. Oh, we're going to overtime.
Oh, my goodness.
We've got another. And just like that, XYX plays an Elixir Collector knowing that we've got about another 3 minutes of game time.
Yeah. Crown
Great
Tower is
damage.
taking a ton of damage, actually.
Surprised it. You don't really think of the miner as that tanky, but he's doing good work there.
Yeah, he's
just outside the range of the other tower. I think. I think the miner has a pretty long attack range.
Yeah, he's a little bit chunky.
Yeah, well, I think he has a long stick that lets him stand just outside the range.
Again, this balloon combination and the arrows will take down the minions.
No, it's down. Actually, Giant Balloon is one of those decks that really struggles to take a second tower. It's really good at taking the first tower. Yeah. The second one is difficult because it has two things shooting it. You've got both the king and crown tower.
And I almost wonder then if you're playing Giant Balloon, if you always want to approach the balloon from either the corner, the edge of the wall, or if you want to approach the crown tower, or the king tower as opposed to the crown tower. Arrows again.
So we talked about this before. The big downside of the giant balloon push is that if your opponent's ready for it, if they have the ability to just like sit back and wait, it's 10 elixir that doesn't kill anything. It's a very risky proposition.
Yeah. Good damage by Clark Kent, but that's a lot of elixir and a big counter push coming down his way. Clark Kent needs to devise a good defensive strategy right now, and Giant Balloon could be happening. And this is what I'm talking about. You put the Giant on the aggressive side, but you may as well put the balloon on the right side wall right now, and then just time the Giant such that it ends up tanking both the towers. Anyways, that way the balloon is always out of range of the King Tower, but a huge push coming in.
Mini P.E.K.K.A coming to finish the job. One swing. Honestly, I think the double princesses on XYZ's part were just as valuable as anything else.
Yeah.
Those princesses provided such like overlapping arrows fire that anything Clark Kent did just got burnt down very quickly.
Absolutely, and that's one of the big benefits of having princess on assisting your aggressive push is that you have this kind of defensive wall against things like minions, goblins, spear goblins, skeletons, any of that. And even if you have double princess, even archers kind of fall pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, that's... we see that even a lot with poison, too. Like, we were talking about poison earlier in the match. Poison has such a good way of just chipping away at those small units almost before you play them. Like, you have poison down, and you're like, all right, I play my goblins. But by the time they actually cast, they're already half dead.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about the princess, those overlapping AoEs. Notice they never really locked onto the tower till the very end. They were shooting the giant over there and the barbarians and the whatever. All added up.
Goodness, Clark Kent down 0-1. The players that we've known to do really well in Super Magic Cup gets constantly getting defeated by new faces.
That's great. That means that the prestige of the Super Magical Cup is growing. The challengers are coming from all over the Clash Royale community because they heard that this is where the best cash prizes are, the best players are, and I think they're right.
Yeah, I think so too. And
this is the best 3 hours of Clash Royale every week.
Yeah.
12 to 3 every Saturday. I don't know where I'd rather be.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see just some of the greatest storylines for the players that were once strong, now having to fight for their position. And that's exactly what Clark Kent is finding himself having to do now.
Ooh, that's a juicy arrows if you had one.
Ooh, Zap was a choice, but that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, because look at that. What's going to kill? And look at that. See the princess? Wow. Those minions that were played on defense just immediately got blinked.
Yeah. Ooh, the zap plus the princess arrows means the spear goblins survive, and now XYX gets a good amount of damage onto the tower.
Excellent. I mean, that's expert level princess play right there. We always talk about princess is the only card that does infinite damage if you can protect her. She never walks into tower. She never gets killed on her own. So there's a lot of value into like being aggressive with your spells, with your other cards, really trying to keep the princess alive.
Make sure you win that exchange.
We just saw it last game. I mean, XYX was only able to get 2 princesses out because he was able to defend the one princess long enough to get a second one out.
Yeah, and then it becomes a big headache.
That's a big downside of Clark Kent's deck only running Zap and not arrows or Fireball, is how do you kill Princess, right? Like, what do you can use Zap a little bit.
And he got away with it before just because it just didn't seem like he needed to. He was super aggressive, and his aggression was very successful. He was doing tons of damage to towers, and he just never had to worry about that situation. But now it seems like when players are cleaning up their defensive act, it's actually a question that does come up. Not a second swing. But XYX.
And actually, it's interesting Clark Kent stuck with his triple legendary deck because his other deck is the poison deck, the minor poison deck. And I think poison would actually be a little bit stronger here because you can for example go to minor on the elixir collector, drop poison on top of it. You're still gonna hit the elixir collector a bunch, and then whatever he drops, skeletons, whatever to block, it dies right away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. Right side tower is down.
Oh, I like that. So actually, great mind games there. Clark Kent played the barbarian trying to defend against the miner. The miner didn't go where the barbarians were.
That's a big push on the right side for Clark Kent. The double cannon is the setup. Minion horde on the left is not going to do very much, but the princess is constantly just showering arrows on top of the barbarians and the minions. And now here comes a princess trade.
Yeah, Clark Kent was trying to win that. Oh, but just ended up taking the princess down, but of course the second one's immediately out. Zap plus Mini P.E.K.K.A. will kill an entire squad of barbarians.
Clark Kent back to the wall. He could be eliminated right here, and XYX just played. I feel like this game was so systematic and methodical for him.
Honestly, it's like the student has become the master. You know, I mean, we're looking at the player who
he could do it.
Oh,
wow. No, the zap right at the last.
The player who arguably popularized Miner throughout the community, or one of the people who helped popularize the deck, is now they're getting defeated by people who've taken the torch from them and kind of carried it on. They said, we liked your ideas, we thought you had a cool deck, I'm going to do this with it.
Yeah.
And move on.
2-0.
Wow.
And Clark Kent is out of here.
So we have 2 new faces, 2 people whose first time in a Super Magical Cup, they've made the finals. So we should probably close out the raffle before the finals here.
Yeah.
And definitely sign up next week. So we'll have the Monday morning is when we have the signups for the next Super Magical Cup. Definitely try to get in for next week, because as you can see, you might be the next Justin or XYX. First time players, each walking home with over $100 each.
Yeah. Almost 200 for first place and 100 for second and 25 for third and fourth. And Seda Dragon and Clark Kent will be going home with third, fourth. This means that Clark Kent officially is now tied with Woody, and because he is the most recent tournament competitor, he will now technically be above Woody, but they're tied in points.
Number one spot.
Oh my goodness.
And
Lots
just
of
like
things to think
that,
about.
the poison decks that we were so excited about have been booted out of the meta. Both Clark Kent was running a minor poison deck, and Sada Dragon was running a trifecta poison deck. Poison, we're really impressed with it all the way through the tournament, is now no longer
it's not a thing.
The finals will be down to 2 Hog Cycle decks against a minor princess deck, and then also a giant balloon deck.
Interesting.
Giant balloon might take the day.
Let's go ahead and draw these raffle winners. Our first winner will be Magician Lol, and he says Lava Hound Princess combo kills the anti-air cards, and man, that would be valuable in this tournament right now, Magician. So you are our first winner for the giveaway, and we will send you a message on Twitch. So make sure you check your inbox on Twitch, and if it's not there, make sure you check the others tab in that message page. And let's take a look at who our second winner is. It's going to be Achan66. And he says, Hog Rider, Valkyrie, Musketeer used in the Trifecta deck as a control type playstyle. This combo is hard to deal altogether. And what do you think about that, Rumham?
That's honestly, that's one of the cards. If I look at my my match history, my Royal Giant deck, I play a Royal Giant Goblin Hut deck, and primarily on the ladder. Trifecta is easily the most common thing I lose to. It's like Trifecta and Golem Poison decks. Actually, really, Poison is so strong against my archetype that it's good.
Dark Knight 31 is our last winner, and he says Golem Barbarians is his favorite combination, and Golem Barbarians is kind of actually more on the expensive side of the combinations, but if you get that up and running, it's really, really strong.
Until your opponent plays minions.
And then you cry.
Yeah, just minions, right? Just regular minions.
Just them. And that's enough. So thank you all to those people who participated in the raffle, and thank you to the winners. Make sure that you check your inboxes in Twitch. The last question for the Super Magical Cup number 7 for the raffles is, what is a card or set of cards that beats you? So what do you have a hard time playing against?
It's the last one. Can we do the last one?
Okay, yeah.
The last one looks fun, actually.
Let's do the last one.
I like it. What legendary card do you most wish to have?
Yes.
That
Okay.
seems like good. So it's exclamation mark raffle. What legendary do you most wish to have? Because you never know, if you win this giveaway, you might just get that
legendary card. Yeah, that's true. All right,
Go buy yourself a magical chest. Go buy yourself something nice.
So the raffle is now open, and this is now the question, as Rumham has I agree with you. It is a good question. What legendary card do you most wish to have? A lot of people say Sparku. The Sparku.
Sparku tank.
I like Sparky too. I think Sparky is great. I like Sparky's sounds. That's what I like.
Sparky is incredibly fun to play with and an incredibly bad card. You know, it's funny. The people on stream keep wanting me to play Sparky decks, and I've tried it a few times. And yeah, I'm sure at some level it's really good and beats people. But man, at the top of the leaderboard, everyone runs Zap. People just zap it, and you're like,
all right, I'm sad now.
I lose.
All right, enough of that. The raffle's on the way. Everybody's happily inserting their raffle
Game 1
answers.
of the finals. So we know Jess is playing a Hog Cycle deck. XYX is running 2 very distinctly different decks.
Jason may have lost to the tournament winner, and here's an aggressive start. Skeletons, no match for the Goblins. Neither is a mini P.E.K.K.A, but just enough to defend the tower health. And the Princess Shot helps clean that up. XYX aggressively placing the Elixir Collector down.
I think he actually wanted to drag the mini P.E.K.K.A over and didn't, so had to zap there, which is a little bummer for Justin. You don't want to go too far behind.
Yeah.
Does decide to fireball. Good. Not while at full 10, though. It's actually pretty vulnerable right now if XYX had decided to go for a push.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't.
Yeah, and maybe he just didn't quite have the cards in hand.
Looks like they're going for a giant balloon.
There we go.
Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, no, and okay,
Counter
Justin
push.
has committed to the strategy of I don't know if I can stop that reliably, and look at all the cards he has.
Yeah.
Basically, Fireball Zap, which is a super expensive answer to it, or the Ice Wizard, which is great at slowing it down, but he actually loses that tower.
But look, everything's still alive. Even though he counter pushed and almost took that tower, there's nothing. I mean, everything's still pushing. He's still going to take his king tower by a lot.
Yeah. The Giant is going to swing away. Maybe three more punches here by the Giant. And it just seems like 2 more. That was a huge play by XYX. Giant balloon.
Justin conceding that point, too, has really got to give XYX a lot of confidence that the next time that comes up, just play it.
Just do it.
Just go for the 3 crown. Why not, right?
Yeah. And this is an interesting situation, and almost, I think, what is, in some cases, kind of ideal for Justin in terms of aggression. The tower is low enough for a fireball, but you haven't activated the King Tower, so your Hog Cycle is actually more effective on the left side tower, because King Tower actually hurts the Hog push a lot.
Yeah.
An incredible amount. And so I think Justin is still okay. He's got 1 minute to play it out. It's not over. He just has to be concerned the next time this giant balloon combination comes up, which it might be now. He just has to be concerned about how he defends against it. Mini pick in the back. Interesting choice.
I think XYX is waiting for Justin to commit to anything.
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting. I'm surprised he didn't go for the 3 crown, because you just mentioned, you're right. This Hog Cycle is going to be way stronger on the left side because the King Tower is not fighting.
Yeah.
And taking the other tower is easy. Wow.
Yeah. And he's actually, this is super dangerous. If he defends against a balloon, XYX could get this turned around on his head and he could lose. That's a fireball. That's a Hog Rider. 1 swing, both towers, and the tower does survive. I really think XYX is in a lot of trouble.
I'm surprised he didn't just go for the 3 crown.
Yeah, it's much safer to push down the left.
tower.
It's much easier to push down the left lane. You don't have to worry about that right side tower hitting you all the way down that path. And you can play defensive cards in your opponent's territory.
Uh-oh, that mini P.E.K.K.A has been an MVP. I don't know if you've been watching the
Valkyrie
P.E.K.K.A on XYX's side has chopped up a bunch of things.
Oh no, he just has to cycle one more fireball, and even a Hog Rider Zap might be able to squeeze right through. But here it comes. He needs to be nice.
The pullback.
The cannon
and the
place.
Ice Wizard too is gonna stop that. Now
he's just cycling. He's just cycling, and maybe even a Zap to cycle up to the.
And Fireball's coming out right now. But will the bomb go? Will the bomb go?
He needs a Zap.
Oh! Justin takes it. I don't think that bomb drop would have killed it either. I think one more bomb drop, it would have been alive.
There were so many interesting situations that this game demonstrated. Edge case situations that you absolutely need to have a very clear idea. Yeah, you need to know how to play them out.
Right. Like, I think XYX had that game in the bag, and Justin snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, right? Like, there's no way after that opening thing, I'm like, well, he just can't stop the push. It's over.
Yeah.
Cannon, Ice Wizard, great exchange there.
Yeah.
Wow, like that's got to be a killer for XYX because it's only a 3-game series, right? Like it's if Justin wins again, the game's over. And even though Justin can't play that deck again, he's playing 2 Hog Cycle decks. You're playing the same deck effectively. Yeah. So you really feel like, oh, every game matters. Like I really have to take the wins when they're there for me because can you really win 2 in a row against a Hog Cycle deck?
Yeah, absolutely. It's man, Justin. Absolutely. Yep.
All right. Well, game 2 should be starting any second now. They're just getting the requests going. So Justin, let's see. He won with. I have to see what the difference is between his two decks. He's playing his other Hog Cycle deck now.
Yeah, I think it doesn't have Fireball in there.
It runs. Maybe you're right.
Arrows?
Maybe it doesn't.
I think it runs arrows.
Oh,
instead.
It runs arrows and Zap. You're right. I think Hog, Cannon, Ice Wizard, and Zap are the common denominators in both decks.
Yeah, I think so too. Don't.
I almost clicked on the friendly battle. I almost accepted. We'd be battling.
Fight us, Justin. If we win against Justin, are we the tournament winners?
Yes, that's true. You just get to jump right into the end.
Yeah, we just have to take over for Justin and fight against XYX.
There you go. Let's get the spectates.
All right, let's go in-game here. God, it's such exciting matches. Okay. The way that plays out, normally the Hog Rider gets body blocked by the Barbarians, but accompanied with the Goblins on his side, as the Hog Rider gets pushed to the right, the Barbarians start tagging onto the Goblins, which earns the Hog Rider 2 swings or so.
Right. Past the Barbarian. Fire Spirit, I forgot. So he doesn't play Skeletons, he plays Fire Spirit instead. Maybe he doesn't have Cannon, because I've already seen 3 copy cards.
I think you're right. I think he might not have Cannon. And that probably saved him in the last game. That Cannon pulled the Balloon and the Giant to the left.
Yeah. It'd actually be really interesting because if Justin has to win 2 in a row with the deck without Cannon, if he comes back against the Balloon deck.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that's playing. Okay, this time the Goblins were too far, so you see that as the Hog Rider pushes through, the Barbarians still maintain their attack onto the Hog Rider, as opposed to pushing the Hog Rider out to the right, and then the Barbarians have to swing against the Goblins. Interesting interaction in my eyes, actually. So almost Justin is incentivized to keep his Goblin and Hog Rider side by side.
Yeah, so Barbarians replace Valkyrie. Oh man!
Oh, it had
Mini Pekka missed an attack too. Yeah.
And now this could be trouble. Good use of arrows.
It's good preemptive too. Those are the things that really
nice placement of the Princess. Now these Goblins are going to get wiped out by Splash.
Uh-oh, here comes that Mini Pekka.
Oh
Zap
no!
doesn't do enough.
Hog Rider on the right is naked though.
Ooh, and that Mini Pekka. Wow.
One more swing.
Mini Pekka.
Oh my god.
XYX takes the tower.
I mean, at this point, Brumham, I'm not going to say anything
I
because...
don't believe it. Look at that naked Mini Pekka just makes it all the way back. It looks like Justin was really low on Elixir and wasn't able to stop it. And that Princess by XYX is just...
That is super not ideal. You don't want that Mini Pekka to get a 3rd swing, so you need to commit Elixir, but that Elixir was guaranteed to die because the Princess was already out on the table. Very bad position for Justin.
I mean, I think XYX's Princess placement is some of the best I've ever... Princess play is some of the best I've seen. Like, guys just getting through. Wow, a 2nd tower going down. Again, the giant balloon deck is doing the work. Whoa! But that tower on the right side, same thing's happening.
Barbarians do tons of damage, and he might actually try to cycle arrows. I think he needs an arrow and a zap to take down the right side tower, and he could draw it into overtime. So the question now is, how are they going to actually pressure the King Tower? And I almost feel like
we're going to a 3-crown lose. You're gonna have 3-crown to win this game.
It's really bad. The giant and the balloon aren't out yet. I mean, Justin has the advantage in timing. The Fire Spirits too. Oh my gosh, he's gonna win again.
The zap. No, wait, no, I think it's coming down to another base race, but I don't like that. That one.
No, Mini Pekka and Giant. Oh my god, what's
177?
He's got nothing.
There's nothing there, and the damage comes in. XYX pushes into overtime. Oh my god, goes to a 3-game of the series. It was crazy. I don't know if you saw, but there was an arrow that XYX cast on his own tower that took out all of the stuff except for the Hog Rider, and it was just King Tower versus Hog Rider, 1-to-1, mano y mano. And the Hog Rider just couldn't do enough damage fast enough.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Oh my god, let's.
Wow.
Oh
wow,
my
wow, wow,
God.
wow. Yeah, woo. Woo. That's something you could say.
Oh my goodness.
So let's see. Justin. I'm sorry, I want to look at the 2 Justin decks. So he is playing. Yeah, you're right. Zap, Goblins, Ice Wizard, and Hog are the 4 overlap cards. What about Minions? Did he not play Minions in the last game? He didn't.
Yeah, he didn't play Minions.
Wow, okay.
Interesting.
The deck looks so similar. I kept being convinced, like, is he playing like 5 of the same cards and 6 of the same cards? But you're right. It's very talented here by Justin being able to play very similar decks despite still changing out the 4 cards that we require.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about. The loss of the Valkyrie is not really replaced with another card. He actually loses that effect that the Valkyrie provides entirely.
This will be interesting because Justin is playing, he's got to play this Hog Cycle deck. We're going to see this list, but against XYX's minor Princess Cycle deck. But what's interesting is Justin doesn't run any buildings, so the minor is not going to be nearly as strong as it would be in the past.
Other interesting thing I just noticed, and I don't know how big of a deal it is for Fire Spirits, but his Fire Spirits are level 8.
Ooh.
Justin's are.
You're right. They are. It's the only card under tournament cap on either side.
Actually, that's a good note. Fire Spirits at the end of that last game for Justin hit the King Tower. I wonder if it would have been in zap range or if he used arrows to defend, right? But if each of the Fire Spirits, like let's say from level 8 to level 9, each of the Fire Spirits gain maybe 25 damage per, I think that's reasonable, right?
I think it's fine. Like, I think it's still going to kill the relevant things. Like, you're still going to kill minion hordes and barbarians and stuff.
But let's go ahead and go in game. But what I'm talking about is that King Tower race. 177 health left. If he had arrows, that would have taken it down to maybe like 30 health. If each of the Fire Spirits had 20 more damage on them, maybe Justin could have won.
You're right. In games that close, everything counts.
Yeah, every single point of damage counts.
So far,
nice
looking
opener for
good
XYX.
for XYX. I mean, you got away with the Elixir Collector, right? That's the best thing you can hope for.
That is the heart of the cards right there, if I've ever seen it rub hand.
Yeah, just having Elixir Collector and Cannon in your opening hand.
Yep.
In Game 3 of the finals.
Yep, and then having your opponent only play Hog Rider into it.
Yeah.
That is.
However,
hurts.
smart play. XYX trying to defend. They did get the princess down.
Yeah. I wonder if he cycled. Okay, yep. This sucks. Another Elixir Collector is gonna come down.
Yeah, Justin cycles off by a little bit.
He's got essentially max health towers, and he's gonna be up to double Elixir Collector soon. Yeah. Huh.
They're both just playing really chippy defense right now. I believe XYX has gotten back to his Elixir Collector, so expect to see a second one. There it is.
There it is.
And yeah, right at this point, I think Justin's kind of between a rock and a hard place. What do? Like, your only options are to throw Hog Rider or Barbarians into a deck that you know has Cannon and Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Princess and like other defensive cards.
That's tough.
And without Fireball,
he could actually play the Hog Rider after this. He could just time it when the cannon's down.
With no Fireball on this list, though, I find it really hard to deal with those Elixir Collectors. You're not going to be able to cycle them out like that. Yeah. Arrows is actually the worst direct damage card to cast against Elixir Collector. It's the only one that doesn't take off a number of pumps equal to its cost. Yeah. It only takes off 2 pumps while costing 3. All the others are like 4 for 4.
There's no cannon, and these melee goblins are going to do a lot of damage. Mini P.E.K.K.A. gets 1 swing. Nice zap. Diffuse the dangerous situation.
Oh, here comes the miner, though. Starting to see some aggression out of XYX.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. is actually the one tanking the tower, however.
Ooh, yeah.
But does get the swing. Oh my god, it's right there!
Just walks by, it's behind the corner. You can't see it.
Ice Wizard needs LASIK.
Yeah.
Ice Wizard needs...
Too cold.
Yeah, he's just...
Oh!
Oh!
Wow, Justin.
Sit down.
And when you get arrows like that, you get a free tower sometimes.
Oh my goodness. And barbarians do a ton of damage, but Zap Mini P.E.K.K.A had to be added onto that to defend. And Justin
have no idea. I was gonna say a little bit ago. I have no idea how XYX was gonna, or how Justin was gonna win the game with the 2 collectors. It was a really bad position. Sometimes you randomly get 5 elixir.
Yeah.
Like it thrown on top of your arrows, and that's a huge swing.
Yeah, that hurts.
I mean, now Justin's actually closer to winning.
Yeah,
16 seconds
it's actually
left,
possible. In this whole game, he was being pressured by elixir collectors.
Wow.
Oh my god, that is probably the most valuable fire spirits that I've ever seen.
Goblins and the minion horde took it down. Only 300 damage left. Now again, Justin does not have fireball.
Here
it's
comes
only
the
2
poker.
fireballs
Oh,
away,
he didn't do the hog jump. He didn't do the hog jump. Uh-oh. He's tried to play poker, and now he might get wrecked for it.
I don't think XYX is going to walk back into that one. Now they know the arrows are down. Zap comes out. There's the miner, though. It's tanking.
The Mini P.E.K.K.A is in front, too.
Oh, fire
the
spirits
fire
don't
spirits
work.
missed everything.
They're a little short, but buys enough time.
Thank goodness. Yeah, that Ice Wizard just barely survived.
Now, it's crazy. Every one of these goblins becomes relevant. Like, it's a good thing the princess hit those goblins, because if they were full health, that would have been enough to win the game.
Yeah. Justin just needs to find footing in the game. I think the next play can really win it. If he plays Hog Rider and then Arrow Zap, he could almost certainly take this tower. Here comes the arrows.
Wow. And got the spear goblins.
I really wish he would have zapped. If he had zapped in a way that hit the cannon and the tower, I think the Hog Rider would have been able to defeat the cannon, move on to the tower, and get one swing on it.
I think he's worried about running his arrows and zap out, because then you get minion horde.
Yeah, that's true. He is in overtime, so he needs to make absolutely sure he's in kill territory before he makes the commitment. Yeah. Fire Spirit's not going to make it very far. Arrows, the zap! He's done it! Justin's done it! And oh my god, it hurts. My heart hurts because XYX
did a great job in game 2, pulling it back, and he was winning this game. He was ahead pretty much the whole game until that gambly predictive. You know, hey, all shout out to Justin. You had already seen the cards at that point. He goes, I know this guy has minion horde. The only thing he's gonna play to defend here is probably like minion horde.
Yeah.
And threw it out there, hit the princess and the minion horde. That was enough to put the critical damage on the tower. It didn't finish it off, but that was the damage that made the difference between, like, oh, it's full health and it's a tower I can go for. I can start chipping away at it. He arrowed, what, 4 times at the end to finish that tower off? Like,
the super important thing is all game long XYX had been beating Justin up because of his elixir collector advantage. The instant the pre-arrows happened, all of a sudden the tides turned. XYX had to spend a bunch of elixir to defend inefficiently, and he just couldn't find the opportunity to put his elixir collector setup back. So essentially, the elixir collector in his deck was useless in the idea that he just could not use that as a win condition for himself any longer.
And shout out to XYX's giant balloon deck that won in pretty much every matchup that he played, right? So they even won in this game. It's possible that if XYX had played 2 giant balloon decks, that might have been, you know,
maybe
the key to the win. Winona?
You know, swap out a few cards. You can do it with Justin can do it with his Hog Cyclone whenever it's possible with a giant balloon. All right. Oh my God, Justin. New face, new winner every week, the Super Magical Cup.
Still have yet to have a repeat winner, you're right. Ugh. And Justin jumps right up into the top 8 or so, top 8 or top 9 in points simply with a 1,000-point win in his first Super Magical Cup. Let's close the raffle.
Yeah, let's close out the raffle. So, oh man, what legendary card do you most wish to have? And let's find out what the answers people have provided us are. The first winner is going to be Phobias, and he says, Ice Wizard, I need his mustache in my deck.
His mustache is too hot for TV.
His mustache is too hot, though he is the Ice Wizard. And that is an interesting interaction. I'm going to go ahead and send you your Twitch message demonstrating that you are a winner of the raffle. Thank you, Phobias, for submitting your answer.
I believe this was the punchiest Super Magical Cup ever.
Yeah.
Clocking in at a sharp 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
we're getting better at this.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's draw our next winner, Reple. Reple says, the princess, never gonna get it, though, he says.
You are now, Reple, because with 1,200 gems, that's like
knows?
2 magical chests. You never know.
Who knows? I mean, and even, like, they're pretty expensive, but it is actually kind of a high chance out of one of those chests to get a legendary. Yeah. All right, our last winner is gonna be Penguin, P9 P3N9 win.
It's a very
penguin.
It's a math-loving penguin.
Yes, that is a very intelligent penguin.
Lava Hound.
Succeeded. He says Lava Hound, and after watching today,
Sada Dragon was willing to go took it all the way to the top 4.
Lava
took it all the way
Hound to the
cash.
grave. Lava Hound to the grave.
And the nice thing about legendaries and tournament play is you only need 1 copy of it. It's actually kind of a bummer on the ladder because as soon as you get 1 copy of it, you're like, well, I need a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you feel,
yeah.
There's always the arms race. But I really like that if you open up 1 Lava Hound ever, you've got it, right?
Yep.
Like you can play it in tournaments until the end of time.
Yep, absolutely. Oh my God, from Ham, Justin takes home.
Oh, sorry, we got to do a 4th winner. We said we'd do 4 winners.
Oh, but we got the.
That's right.
He,
I'll,
yeah, he does.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Oh, Sada Dragon did win his raffle.
Yeah.
He was talking about something else earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be it.
$200 worth of gems and about 7 super magical chests. Justin, first place finisher, 1,000 points. Another new name to add to the leaderboard.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, in second place, played very, very, very well. XYX with some sick decks. Gets 500 points and $100, about 4 super magical chests. Third and fourth place is going to be Clark Kent, a player that we've seen before, and he played super well when he first came back, and now he's struggling to get back into that top 2. He's struggling, you know. Last week he got knocked out by Naders, either Naders or Fleiss, I can't remember, and got stopped again this week. Will he? I mean, he's gotten 250 points for being in third, fourth, so now he's tied with Woody, but still has not surpassed Woody in points.
I can't really come down on anyone too hard for losing in the top 4 or even the top 8 of the Super Magical Cup. The players are so high quality week after week. What I'd really like to see is Woody return next week. Obviously, he wasn't played this week.
Yeah.
Manufan returns to the top 8. But I'd love to see Manufan get back into the top 4. And of course, Justin is really impressed by beating, not only winning the tournament, but defeating 3 name players along the way, as well as beating XYX, who might be a new name player in the future.
Yeah.
So
Not an easy
Justin
road.
next week could continue the dominance and maybe be the first 2-time winner in Super Magical Cup history.
Yeah, possibly. We will see. That answer can only be found out.
If you want to sign up for next week's Super Magical Cup, go to supermagicalcup.com. Our signups are, I believe, Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Yes.
So it'll be Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific. We open the signups. We take the first 128 signups.
And then we do the wait list after that.
Yeah, we're looking at expanding the tournament, so keep watching every week. If you don't make it in, keep watching, keep tuning in. We'll continue to do viewer giveaways, and hopefully in the near future we can expand it to an even larger event.
Absolutely. So congratulations to all the placers and everybody who participated in the Super Magical Cup. Also, thank you to the viewers. Congratulations to the winners for the viewer giveaways. Make sure to follow all the social media. Rumham on Twitch, Rumham on Twitter. I did that the wrong way around. Super Magical Cup on Twitter. And then, of course, if you are interested, you can follow me too. That's it for Super Magical Cup number 7. Tune in next week. See ya, guys.